How's it going, everybody out there? It's Nightcap for December 10th, 2021. Gonna have a nice, chill, cool evening. Gonna chill out a little bit here. Have a drink. Happy weekend, right? You got a case of the Fridays, bro? You got a case of the fucking Fridays? You excited? Is it your Friday? Is it even your Friday? Anyways, yep. We're just gonna kind of chill out. Gonna watch some videos, have some fun. This episode is gonna be kind of focused around the Matrix, MGTOWs, red pilling, all sorts of fun stuff. We're gonna go watch some videos about that kind of shit, and we'll see where we go. See where the night takes us. I'm tired as hell, though, man. I gotta tell you. So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, why wait? So I'm gonna check out the new Matrix trailer. I watched it one time. This is the second and last trailer. I think the final Matrix trailer. And let's just watch it and see if we can kind of suss out what the movie is probably going to be about. It's very close, right? It's only 12 days away? 12 days away from a new Matrix movie. We should all be over the moon. We should all be super excited. Film nerds across the land, excited about the new Matrix. What am I doing here? I can do that. There we go. Let's check it out. Let's just get into it, man. The world.
We can't see it.
The Matrix.
But we're all trapped inside these strange, repeating loops.
Billions of people just living out their lives.
I like how because there was all of this speculation as to who these characters could be and what they represented in the new Matrix movie and the new world. And they essentially were just like, oh, here, let me just explain it to you. Let me just directly show you the parallels rather than wait for the movie to come out. And you could maybe, I don't know, have some fun, discover this stuff yourself. I'm not like a spoiler phobe or anything like that. I think, the journey is often more important than the destination. But still, you can hold a little bit back. Because if memory serves me correct, like I said, I only watched this trailer once. It kind of just gives away the whole game. Kind of what the movie is about, essentially.
Oblivious.
But this is the moment for you to show us what is real.
Do you remember this? Do you remember that white room he went into?
I remember this.
So deja vu. And yet it's obviously all wrong.
It also kind of reminds me a lot of BioShock Infinite. There's always a lighthouse. There's always someone to save. There's always a hero.
Maybe this isn't the story we think it is.
They taught you good. Made you believe their world was all you deserved. But some part of you knew that was a lie. Some part of you remembered what was real.
It's so easy to forget how much noise the Matrix pumps into your head. Something else makes the same kind of noise. War.
Hold on. Gotta go back here and see Jada. She brought Neo to the red table. Come speak your truth, Neo. Come down here. Hold on, Will, where are you at? I want to fuck Neo. You cool with that?
War.
What happens to Neo?
This it's almost like looks like they Force Awakened their own movie, where they're just kind of gonna do like almost like the greatest hits of everything you recognize from the Matrix. I don't want to be overly cynical because I do kind of want to see this movie for some reason. Maybe I know better, but there is something about the vibe of the Matrix. Maybe it was like growing up with the Matrix or whatever that I feel almost obligated to see this movie. I might even go to the theater. I don't know. I might get fucking wild. Although probably not. I'll probably just watch it at home, honestly.
Most important choice in Neo's life. It's not his to make.
She believed in me. It's my turn to believe in her.
Part of me feels like I have been waiting my whole life for you.
You see, Trinity is now the one. I think that's what the angle they're taking here. They've kind of made this full circle thing. It's going to be about, how you have to, sometimes you're the hero, but sometimes you also have to recognize the heroism in others. You need to support that with your magic matrix abilities.
If you want to see Trinity,
Hagbard says Neo has decided he wants to be Trinity. Well, art imitates life.
again. Fight for her!
I saw this in a dream.
I saw that I was actually the one all along into dreams.
My dream ended here.
I still know Kung Fu.
Oh, he still does it. He still knows it. Yeah, I guess of note, like now they got a lot more writers involved. Lana Wachowski coming back, David Mitchell and Alexander Hammond. Have they worked together before? I wonder. Maybe let's look up who these writers are. David Mitchell and Alexander Hammond. I don't know. Yeah. Where is it? There it is. Hagbard says, remember the original movie? Those two wacky brothers who directed it? Not the Farley brothers, the ones with the Pollock name. I hear their sisters are involved now. Yeah, it's a big family affair. They're really, expanding it out. Who are the writers? Okay, David Mitchell. That name at least sounds familiar. Yeah, okay. Cloud Atlas, Sense8. So they've been working with the old Wachowskis there for a hot minute. Yep. Same thing. This guy's from Sense8. Oh, yeah. There you go. There's the magic. When is this from? This is from 2012. Because this person here, this is the other Wachowski. I guess Lily now. They also transitioned. And they I think went a little bit crazy. Prophet says, oh shit, I was too busy deep diving into Lady Nightcap to see the notification. No need to stand on ceremony here, Captain Dad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate myself for wanting to watch that movie, but because I know I'm going to. It's really just kind of no getting around it. I am going to watch the new Matrix movie. I'll give it a fair shake. Like, it's in terms of stuff they've made, the Wachowskis, there's nothing they've made that I've absolutely despised. I couldn't get through Sense8 because it was just too had its head so far up its own ass. But I don't know. So, having watched The Matrix there, let's watch some MGTOW compilations. Let's do that. Let's check it out. You know, with the whole red pilling theme, seems like the right thing to do. Hit that notification bell, kids. Subscribe, like. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Should a guy date y'all?
Perfect. Yeah.
And how?
Hagbard says, I only like the original Matrix and some of the Animatrix. The other two sequels were up their own ass. Yeah, because it suffers from the idea that they had to explain it. They had to actually try to get into the minutia and the details of all the rest of the world, and it just doesn't hold up to scrutiny. I mean, that's why the first one is so perfect, because it's just vague about a lot of that stuff, and you can kind of project and intuit your own ideas into what those things look like. You know, like Zion, right? Actually seeing Zion was so underwhelming.
How?
We're always right. Women are always right.
Explain.
Always right. She's right. Yeah.
Can y'all cook?
Can you cook?
Can you clean?
Can you clean? Oh.
That's a no.
What's a bitch mean? What does that qualify someone to make that?
Just a bitch, like someone who is just putting themselves through something they don't want, a set of circumstances that they don't want, and then fucking crying about it, bitching about it.
Their actions aren't congruent with their desires or mission.
Their daily habits are not in line with the future they desire. Right. Their daily habits are out of whack, and then they're wondering why it's happening to them. They're acting like it's happening to them.
Right.
It's like, you're fucking doing it.
Would you rather have a PS5 or me under your Christmas tree this year?
Me, why not? Okay.
PS5 or me under your Christmas tree this year? Yeah. So would you rather have a PS5 under your Christmas tree or me? You won't hurt my feelings. What about the PS5? Nobody likes it. Oh!
Okay, we'll go.
Okay. So would you rather a PS5 or me under your Christmas tree?
You all day, every year.
Damn.
Oh!
Would you rather?
Like, what is the what was the point of doing this? What did she expect people were going to say? Even, you know, most people are not super rude. Most people will just be like, yeah, of course you. That's great. And I'm not suggesting that this is not a very attractive woman. But, you know, PS5s are kind of hard to come by right now. A lot of scalpers out there.
Me or a PS5 under your tree on Christmas? Well, don't what? Do I? How about from this angle?
You supposed to be in school right now?
What?
You supposed to be in school right now? Are you supposed to be in school right now? No? You guys told me?
What?
You have regents or something? No, you're not in high school? Okay. I was just asking. I thought you looked around the age that you're supposed to be in high school. So I'm a truant officer. That's the reason I was asking. All right.
Yeah, so I've just come up and just harassed you because I think something.
All right. Have a good day.
They say men are either good at bullying or can eat $$.
Some women just want to be provided for and to not have to do shit. And that's okay for whoever they end up with. Not me, though. Y'all be easy.
You don't really talk much, do you? Oh, no, I do. You don't talk much with me. I know. Why not? Being an introvert is like having a personality that only like 4 special people get to see. And you're not special enough.
Thought I read somewhere that said that like you'll never, something about you won't chase a guy. You won't chase a guy. Talk about that for a minute.
I think it was about 2 weeks ago. I got a little upset at the way I was being treated by men and the way all my friends were being treated by men, and really women in general were being treated by men. And I'm actually going to reverse that. Not treated by men, treated by boys. But for me, the problem right now that's going on in this dating game is Men have been conditioned to be able to go on an app and swipe, swipe, swipe and find what they're looking for. And they don't value, and that's a problem. They want to post something or be with somebody for.
This says how to offend 99% of men dating in 2021. I mean, she's not wrong what she's saying in terms of dating apps. I think that would probably be applied to both of the sexes pretty mutually. It devalues the entire process. Hookup culture, they call it.
For the social media validation and the likes and the clout or living for other people, but they don't value. And another part of the problem is that men, I call it the pussification of men. Men aren't men anymore. They're little boys. They don't know how to make plans. They don't know how to be good communicators. They don't know what they want, and they act like children. No woman wants to be with a child. I don't want to be somebody's nanny. I don't want to be someone's mother. I don't want to be someone's pen pal, period. And I'm tired of the men in this country not acting like men. I'm tired of them acting like little boys. And for me, I won't chase a man. I'm not going to track anybody down because quite frankly, I don't need to. And that's not because I'm the greatest God's gift to earth. That's just because I have expectations, but I also know how to treat people in return. And a lot of my friends are the same way. A lot of people can't handle strong women.
Can't handle a strong bitch. I don't know why people would find that very offensive, I suppose. I don't really get that, to be honest with you. What the hell's going on?
Whoa. Boys are so fucking stupid. Do they not fucking think? Are they fucking dumb? They're fucking cutbags. I don't understand.
If a dude break up with you, you're definitely the problem because we never end the relationship first.
People think Peyton Manning, and then they think Peyton, that I'm a guy.
Oh, yes, right.
But nah, these are breasts.
Yeah.
And I have functioning vagina as well. Gynecologist says top notch.
Okay. I'm not really sure what they're getting at with that compilation. That's what happens when you don't preview things. Okay, top 21. TikTok men keeping women in line. Oh my. TikToks, not a huge fan of TikToks. They don't serve Nightcap well. This is really not our bag. So we're going to move on probably after this one. It's not a lot to, there's just not a lot to like jump into. They don't go on long enough. I guess I don't have that ADD inside of me. I don't have that spirit.
You have 100 hoes, but when you find that special one, you have 101.
You're f***ing out. I thought you were going to say something nice.
I guess.
This is my apartment after I came back home from Vegas. I had a convention in Vegas. I was gone the 2nd through the 7th. Came home to my apartment completely wiped out. My husband left. He left me my jewelry here in this room here. Yeah. And
Prophet says, Sean, these are not Spice Kings. They are not worthy. I think you're right there, honestly. Why would you do this? So, like this lady right here. So she went away on either a trip or a work trip, vacation, whatever. She comes back. Her husband left her and cleaned out the house. So she decides to film her humiliation and put it up on TikTok.
And took everything else, including some items that belonged to solely me. He also took the washer and dryer out of here. I also took.
That's pretty fucking based. That's pretty based. Egbert says he took the blue fire talkies. That son of a bitch. Well, that's a man's food, anyways. He probably kind of did her a favor.
The bed, took everything out of here, cut off the internet service so I can no longer work from home. And then cleared out the closet here, which y'all come to like. Cleared out the closet here and left the wedding dress in here. I'll leave that right there for him.
That's fucking nuts. Now my boyfriend expects me to greet him every time he comes home.
Your every desire will be fulfilled. Your wish is my command. I'm here to please you, baby.
That's funny, at least. Hagrid says this guy fucking rules. He's got it locked down, as the kids say.
Wait, is that your car?
Yeah, here you go.
He gave her a
Not
plan
today,
B.
Dish.
Hope she doesn't fart on his face. That's a good way to get pink eye.
That's so wet. That's so wet. Huh.
She told me put my heart in a bag.
When he leaves you on delivered all day and his snap score goes up. I don't even know. That's like, this right here is like somebody speaking a different language. I have no idea what the fuck this means beyond when he leaves you.
Body gets hurt, now running from her love.
If a woman calls you or texts you, let the phone ring, or don't respond for 4 hours. Take a whole day to yourself and then get back to her. Be short with your responses. These are aspects of dread game. Making a woman become emotionally anxious because she's wondering where she stands in the romantic field with you. I don't advocate for dread game. The problem with dread game is that you're actually putting way more effort into getting her to like you than you are into your purpose. The same actions can be taken with
That's fair. That's a fair thing right there. He's like, kind of get away from the pickup artist concept of negging a woman. I can vibe with that. Not a single Fresno pepper. Not a single fucking ghost chili. Not a one.
different intentions behind them. You can have a girl messaging you and nothing going on in your life, and all you're doing is taking your time to emotionally manipulate her with dread, being toxic, as they say, taking your time to respond. But you're focused on when to respond to her. I've done some of these things, although they do yield good results. The problem is that you can't keep this up forever. The same results can come with following your purpose. For instance, if a woman I'm dating texts me and is looking for a response, I'm going to be busy throughout the day working on the things that will get me to where I want to be in life. I'm so focused on them. And when I get a minute, if I check my phone and I notice, oh, she texted me, she sent me a Snapchat, she's called me, I will then take the time to respond to her. Say she's saying, hey, how's it going? Or something insignificant in that regard. I'll message her back and say, hey, it's great, I'm just busy right now. I'll give you a call later tonight. Or, hey, I'm a little busy right now. Let's grab dinner. When are you free next? And then just leave it. She'll respond. I'll set up a date, because this thing is purely for setting up dates. It is not for getting to know someone. I spend very little time texting or calling a woman. I spend the majority of my time with her in person, because that leads to physical intimacy, leads to bonding, interacting, and enjoying my time. Because if I'm not working on my purpose, I better have a damn good excuse for not doing that.
That's some pretty solid advice. It's like being honest, trying to be productive, fruitful, whatever you want to call it. Prophet says, that means that on Snapchat, someone didn't read your message, but sent several to other people. Oh, okay. All right.
Hey Siri, call my girlfriend.
Which one?
Blue, the color of fire, the color of Takis. It just says spoil him. And that is being spoiled. Oh, see, that's a good looking steak there, dude. That's how I like to have steak, right there. Some peppers, some onions. Mmm. It's a nice spread. Although, how long is it sitting out
Girlfriends
before you
cannot
eat
have
it?
guy friends.
Yes, they can.
It's impossible.
Why?
Because
The guy friends are always there waiting for the boyfriends to mess up. When the boyfriend messed up, boom, they want to be there. You want me to prove it to you? Call any guy friend right now and say, let's hook up. And I promise you, they'll be like, okay. Do it.
I'm actually, this is probably true. This is something I've actually thought for a very long time, that you cannot have, especially once you're in a relationship or you're married or something like that, you cannot just have casual friends that are women. That's just the way I feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm old fashioned.
Hey, I was wondering if you just maybe like wanted to hook up today or something.
Hell yeah, what time?
Yo, man. Yo, you see what I'm saying? Did you see what I'm saying? I just caught that on camera. Girlfriends no more guy friends for you. You better block everybody right now. Block everybody on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on everything.
Dinner.
Thank you.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, baby.
What a king, dude. What a fucking king.
Billy, where the you think you're going?
I'm gonna go drink with the boys. What the are you hollering at, Nate?
On a Sunday?
Yeah, none of us work today.
If you walk out that door, I won't be here when you get back.
Well, lock the door behind you, bitch.
When are you gonna cook for me?
I don't cook. I don't clean.
God, you look so sexy, you just might be my type. So bring that ass on over, tell me how'd you get so fine?
It's like this is just a compilation of mostly of just people being normal, the median person. Just be doing something nice for their significant other. Gotta get out those toxins. Ugh.
This week, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my weekly cleaning schedule. Mondays are for the bedrooms. I wash the sheets, open the window to let some fresh air in, and then make the beds.
Okay.
I love having fresh sheets to really start the week.
Everybody does.
Also, I finally found a bedspread that I absolutely love. Next, I dust the fan and...
So is this like, this is the trad life. The trad life girls, right? This is what the Groypers are all about. The Nick Fuenteses of the world, even though they seem to be physically repelled by women.
TV and all the dressers as well as the blinds. Next, I do what I like to call a 10-minute pickup, and I clean up anything on the floor and then vacuum. And every Monday, I plan our grocery list as well as our weekly meals.
Jesus.
Next, I move on to my daughter's room, and I do the same thing that I do in our master bedroom. Today, I also needed to put away some of her clothes that she got for her birthday. And the bedrooms are all clean and have provolone cheese, pepper jack cheese, pepperoni, and some jalapeno turkey breast. I'm adding bread and butter pickles, banana peppers, red onion. I think it should be called purple onion, but whatever. Some shredded lettuce, mustard, and mayonnaise.
It's a good ass
I'm
sandwich,
going
dude.
to fold that over, and I'm going to wrap it in parchment paper today, as well as some foil, just so nothing gets soggy in there. And in his other container, he's going to get some raspberries and blueberries, some celery, and I'm packing a little container of peanut butter to dip his celery in, and a sugar-free lime jello.
Good God.
For his breakfast in the morning, he's getting a
I'm impressed.
yogurt parfait, some Chobani vanilla Greek yogurt, vanilla granola, bananas, chia seeds, and I'm topping that off with more yogurt and granola, and I'm packing that in his lunchbox with a Kind bar, Doritos,
When does this video stop and she just says psych?
water, and a Dr. Zevia. Bye, y'all.
Dad's reaction to mom in her wedding dress.
Yeah. Crazy, right? 25 years later. Is this insane?
what a
Is that
nice
crazy?
moment.
Let me take a picture, you.
Wow. Not used to all this
A
positivity on Nightcap.
$20,000 engagement ring. That's how much John spent on the engagement ring for Jennifer. He was madly in love with her, and he had the money to spend it. Well, she didn't feel quite the same way, but she didn't let him know that. She accepted the ring, accepted the engagement, and they started planning the wedding. Well, about 2 months in, she decided that maybe this wasn't right for her. So she called the engagement off. Well, John wanted the ring back. He was a little bit upset, and he'd spent $20,000 on the ring. He wanted it back. Jennifer said, no, that was a gift. You gave me a gift. I get to keep that gift. John said, the hell you do? It was a conditional gift. So he took her to court. And the judge heard all the evidence and ruled that, yes, in fact, it was a conditional gift conditioned upon her marrying John. And when that condition wasn't met, she had to give the ring back.
Well, that's good. Good. Thank God. Hagbard says, my wife donated her wedding dress as soon as we got back from our honeymoon. Hey, different strokes for different folks, man. I think my wife still has hers, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. It's probably just going to be more of that stuff, so we'll move on. But, yeah, some nice things there. Nice positivity. Let's see here. Since I brought him up. TYT. Oh, my gosh. I'm just... so I was looking up... like Nick Fuentes talking about women. Let's see, women don't belong online. There we go. Let's see what old Nicky Poo here has to say. Yeah, he's like the 23-year-old incel. Not really an incel. I don't think he calls himself that. I don't think he goes by that, but he does seem physically repelled by women. And he does hang out with cat boys. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, roasties are dumb online. It's good to argue with them. Women don't belong online. And a friend of mine made a really good point, really salient point to me today, which I hadn't considered. He said, if the internet is the modern public square, then women should have the same role online that they did in the public square as ordained by the Bible. It's just to say.
Tarami says, positivity without weirdos in my nightcap? I know. We're weird. Don't worry, we'll get there. We're going to get to the weirdos. Hagbert says, no women, just cat boys.
They shouldn't be online. And I thought that's so true, because the Bible basically says that women really shouldn't be prominent in the public square. It's like, well, if the internet is like the new iteration of that, well, then the Bible says we must apply the Bible. Then they don't belong on Twitter. They don't belong on YouTube. They don't belong on Instagram. They seriously don't belong on Instagram. I can't believe people think it's okay that women would be on Instagram. I'm not even joking when I say that. It's like everything that we know about women.
I'm pretty sure he's never even had a girlfriend. I'm pretty sure he's never even had any type of even a friendship with a girl other than his mother and his sister. I don't it's just this completely constructed idea in his head based on just, I don't know, things he caught online and the Bible.
And you think it's a good idea that they can post vanity pictures of themselves on Instagram? Like that's a good idea. I've seen so many cases of where girls have their boyfriends. Do you ever see this? Girls have their boyfriends take pictures of them so they can post on Instagram. And of course, if the boyfriend is taking the picture, is the boyfriend in the picture? No. And the boyfriend is not in the picture literally, and also I think symbolically not in the picture, right? Like she's posting the picture, posting these solo slutty pictures of herself on the beach or wherever, and boyfriend's, oh, you look really beautiful, click. And she's posting them online. What do you think that is? It's like a catalog. It's
Hagbert says, one day when him and Milo announce their wedding, you'll be sorry. I will be. I'll have to apologize.
Like it's like a catalog for a butcher or a fashion catalog or something. It's displaying meat on a hook. And who do you think that's for? The ogling gaze of other men. And it's like, why would anyone permit that? If we are supposed to believe that women and men are supposed to be monogamous and have one partner and all that, why would we allow women to advertise themselves in this way? There's literally no other reason. And look, maybe you have an Instagram for your family, but get a text group, get a text group going, or something like that. But maybe you have an Instagram account where it's your parents and your aunts and uncles and whatever. But we know that's not what's happening. People say to me, well, Nick, what do you mean by e-girl? Because I only have 1,000 followers on Instagram. It's like, okay, well, people say if I'm not famous online, well, then I'm not an e-girl. Well, it doesn't really matter.
Prophet says, Milo is with Richard Spencer.
Because if it's like 100 or 200 guys who aren't your brothers or your boyfriend or your uncle or your other male family members, well, what's the purpose of it? You're putting yourself out there, displaying yourself for obviously the wrong reasons. So they don't belong online. They don't belong on Instagram. They do not belong on Twitter. They don't belong. Twitter in particular,
they don't belong.
Like, if the goal of Instagram is to advertise their carnal nature, the flesh, well then, Twitter is maybe even worse because Twitter is where they can post their thoughts. And, women are by their very nature childlike and simple. And so I don't know why anyone would bother reading childlike and simple takes online. It kind of defeats the whole purpose. If Twitter is supposed to, make you think and provoke thought and everything, why would we have childlike and simple-minded people by their nature posting their thoughts? It's sort of like when people say, David Hogg shouldn't be on Twitter. Why would we listen to what David Hogg has to say? He's 16. We wouldn't listen to a child. Why do we listen to what Greta Thunberg has to say? She's a child. It's like, frankly, women are childlike as well. And I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
They got the tiny brains and they got the small feet. So they can stand close to the stove, reach over and stir my soup.
Boomer says, why should we listen to Greta Thunberg lecture us about climate change? She should finish school. I feel the same way about women in general, but there's never like finishing school. It's just like, why am I being lectured? Why am I being lectured?
The worst thing about like a dude like this is like he speaks exclusively to like 16 to like 22-year-old guys. And he's not going to do them any fucking favors. Like maybe Nick Fuentes and his fucking world that he exists in, and he's able to operate this way, but he's gonna do a lot of he's caused people a lot of damage. No girls in the fort, says Prophet. Princess Tiny Feet, I love you long time.
Lectured about politics by a woman. This is ridiculous. This is like a bad joke. In a normal society, this would be presented as like obvious parody. In the same way that like you look at a dog wearing a hat as like hilarious, Look at this picture of a dog wearing a hat. Isn't this hilarious? And why is it hilarious? Because it's ridiculous. It's like a dog trying to look like a person. That's obviously silly, In the same way, in a normal society, you would tell them about what happens in our dimension. You go to an alternate dimension where things are normal and say, there's this website where people talk about politics and there's girls giving their takes. And people bust out laughing for the same reason. They'd be like, what? Girls telling men what they should think about politics? That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Tell me another one that's so silly. Tell me another story from your alternate dimension that is just like upside down and inside out. Do you wear shoes on your head? Do you wear underwear on your head? Dude,
honestly, like Nick Fuentes is a child and has the worldview of a child. The way he operates, the way he thinks about things. Somebody like him, because he's never been like outside, like in his public life, or even in before that. Like he's just never lived outside the media sphere, and saying things like this has just been his entire life. He has no real life experience. Hagbert says, I've heard this kid speak in debates and he's bright as fuck. And then there's this. Well, no, he's not a dumb person. I would never suggest that he's like dumb. I think he's very naive. And I think a lot of that has to do with just like becoming a public person at like 17, 18 years old and doing this show where a 17 and 18-year-old kid was like giving political and advice and life advice. That's the problem with so much of like online punditry, especially like on YouTube and all that stuff, political Twitch. We're like listening to people that are like no older than 26 and they live the most touched fucking lives. They have no real life experience, like what it's like to be the median person in the world. But they talk to people that have to live in the fucking real world, that aren't streaming 12 hours a day, talking about Bernie Sanders or fucking communism or whatever.
Walk around on your hands? Do you walk around doing handstands? Oh. That is so funny to me.
Animals in human clothes, so funny. That's about where he's at. Yeah.
That is so funny to me. Okay.
He did actually, let's see. I'll see if I can find it. I think somebody cut together because he was on a more mainstream show recently. Sydney Watson gets to know Nick Fuentes. So Sydney Watson is on some show on the Blaze. I'm not sure what it's called. You Are Here or something like that.
And yeah, no.
You do want to
hold on. Let's see what he says. Let's see what he has to say for himself, the young man.
get married?
Yeah, I want to get married, but more out of necessity of like producing a male heir is really the whole point.
No, I'm just listening. I'm just observing. You can keep going. Continue.
She's like, we can keep going.
No, because I mean, I would prefer to get a handle on what you think from your mouth.
That's very
before
Chinese
I
of
say
him, though.
anything.
You know, just only men. So he doesn't want any female children. It's very Chinese.
Yeah, no, I think they're awake on this question. You know, I mean, as far as like marriage
Well, it's more
goes,
about population control there rather than, getting
well,
rid
and
of
it's
women.
like the old world stuff about like a dowry and like, gendered stuff and all that. But, at least for me, it's sort of like a pride thing. Like I want to produce a male heir to take on my name, take on my legacy and all that. And, marriage is sort of pursuant to that goal. But, I don't know about this whole prospect of like living with a woman for the rest of my life. Like, it sounds good at first. It sounds like kind of fun or interesting. You don't have to do laundry. You don't have to worry about kind of taking care of the house. But, then the prospect of just like it goes on and on and on. And it's decade after
Oh my
decade after
God.
decade. And, I don't know how
It's just like such like a child's perspective. Also, he just sounds like he's gay. Like he's not interested in women like that. Like it's just functional for him. Hagbert says he exudes a very Liberace vibe. Am I wrong? Maybe it's the vocal inflection. I don't think you're totally off base there. I could see I totally can make that connection. Yeah, for sure.
thrilled I am with that whole idea.
The one thing I will give him though, like he doesn't get into spaces like this. Like he's talking to a woman right now, but he still barrels forward with exactly what he would say if he was doing his own show. So I guess in some sort of weird abstract way, I guess I could give him a little bit of respect for that he's not trying to hide the ball. He's not trying to hide his power level. He just says what he thinks, for better or worse.
I'm kind of a solitary individual. I like my privacy. I like my autonomy, and just the idea of like.
So do I. And being married and being in a relationship is not a mutually exclusive concept to that. I am kind of a solitary person. I like my my alone time. I like my me time. I like my dad hours. That's what I call them now.
Like nagging GF, nagging wife. It's a little nightmarish to
Do
me.
you have a good relationship with your mom?
I love my mom. Yeah, I love my mom.
Mm-hmm. Is your mom a stay-at-home mom? What does she do?
Yeah, so she works now, but when me and my sister were growing up, she raised me. She quit her job to stay at home and raise us.
And what's your
full
sister
time.
like? Do you get on with her?
Yeah, she's my twin. She's probably the opposite of me. She's more calm, sort of introverted. Yeah, but we get along.
Do you respect women,
Of course.
but you just don't want them to have any rights?
Well, I didn't say that. I didn't
Okay.
say they shouldn't have rights.
But if I'm understanding your question correctly, if you don't want them to,
Well, maybe he is hiding his power level a little bit. I mean, like, it's hard to say, you know, because obviously there's a lot of stuff that's fast and loose, a lot of joking going on. When he's talking on his show, he's filling like 2 hours every single night. So there's a lot of jokes in there. There's a lot of stuff like that, a lot of edgy shit. But he also does think like women shouldn't be allowed on the internet. So I don't know.
vote or drive or have an existence akin to what they would have in, say, Saudi Arabia, you would say that in large part, then they don't really have rights.
Well, I would say probably the ideal is something more like Afghanistan, if I'm being totally honest.
Holy
like
shit.
recent,
So what's the difference
recent
between Afghanistan then and Saudi Arabia?
Like the brutality, I guess it's like a little slightly more brutal. Of course, Taliban rule, not American rule. I'm talking about, recent
So
Afghanistan.
you want women to have the same treatment as women have under Taliban rule in Afghanistan?
Something approximating that, yeah,
Okay.
because, you think
Oh
about
my
the
God.
Taliban and, what they're able to achieve. Here you have these guys with nothing but, some light arms and rags and 20 years, and they were able to defeat the largest military in history. I think that has something to do with the fact that they weren't like distracted. They weren't distracted with the kinds of things we are in America. They weren't being nagged, they weren't being bossed around by women. And, now they've got this society where there's just
He figured it out, guys. That was the key to the whole operation. If you cut out nagging women of the equation, men can accomplish a lot. Just a whole bunch.
brutality, like I said, this old world sort of order. And you bring up like voting. I don't see really voting as a right, if I'm being totally honest. Like, it's not just women. There's a lot of people that really shouldn't be voting anymore.
Such as?
Maybe people that don't own property, young people that work like retail jobs. Like, as an example, really, well, hear me out.
People that work retail jobs.
That would cut out a lot of people in the United States. Probably cut the voting base in half.
Well,
Okay,
or like
I think we
service
can all get on
jobs.
board with that national movement. It's like with the service that you're getting, it's like, man, you couldn't even get
World
my change right. I don't know if
peace.
you're gonna be able to pick
No,
the correct
there was
president
I
of
was
the United
I was
States.
in Lowe's earlier, and a young man helped me who's actually a fan of both of us, who was super lovely, and I would like him to vote. He was great. He was very clever.
Well, the thing about retail or these service jobs is like, you look at these young people, it's a lot of millennials, Generation Z, and they really don't know how things work. You know what I mean? Like, if you own a business,
Kind of like Nick Fuentes. They're just kind of ignorant about a lot of things. They don't have a lot of life experience. They haven't done a lot. Oh, it sounds like somebody I know.
if you own property, even if you're a homeowner, you kind of have an idea of like how things work, like where things come from and some idea of like how the economy works. And,
he's talking about having skin in the game. His perfect world is the MDE Utopia sketch. Is that from World Peace?
If your whole life is like, okay, you're in school, you're a student, you pay rent, you know what I mean? Like you don't even manage like how your apartment runs. Like, how should you have a say in how the country is run? You don't even really know how anything comes together in society. So, the old way in America was that it was, of course, propertied white men. It was a very narrow group of people that were able to vote. And that's because the founding fathers didn't really believe in mass democracy, universal suffrage. They believed in checks and balances, and kind of voting was a part of like checking the power of the ruling class or the regime with the power of the people. But they weren't under any illusions about this idea that like every person should have a vote. One man, one woman, one child, one vote. They didn't believe that. So, that's not how the country was founded. That's not how the system was set up. And that was for a reason. So I think it was a big mistake in the past 100 years to just open it up to everybody,
Oh, I found it, buddy. Thank you for the link, though.
We have to think about how we're going to have competent government and who's going to make those choices. And, we have to think competent people should be making those choices.
If I were to ask you, like, let's start with rights. Okay, let's start with access to something very simple. Let's go to an amendment. Let's go to 19th Amendment. Right? Let's start there. Let's just start there.
Gone.
All right.
All right. What do you thought?
Prophet says Nick's Utopia, but with cat boys. We're gonna get to it. We're definitely gonna watch it. I gotta pull it up because we can watch that. The only $1 Million Extreme stuff we can't watch on YouTube is stuff from World Peace because it's owned by Turner Media.
All right, day one gone.
It shouldn't be there.
I have
Shouldn't
a
be there.
question though. Have you ever lived in any other country besides the United States?
Nope.
Okay,
Just
so
America.
when you talk about many of these things, these are just from an observational standpoint where you've done a lot of reading and observed a bunch of things.
Yes.
And then arrived at your conclusions based on that.
Yes.
But you have no practical experience living under, say, a more authoritarian rule.
No, well, I mean, I already live under something like authoritarianism in America. You know, I'm on the no-fly list. I'm being persecuted. The thing is about authoritarianism is it can't be condemned in itself, you know, because the character of the regime isn't really authority. The authority is colored by the people that are in authority.
That's the thing about him. He's gone through all these experiences. Like he's been unpersoned. And he doesn't really actually think that that's necessarily a bad thing if it just happens to people that he disagrees with or women or people he doesn't like. I don't know. To me, like a principle has to be able to be applied ubiquitously to actually be a principle. Like you can't just pick and choose when you apply it. And he seems he'd like to do that. Almost like a kind of a monarchist type deal. Trami says the patience of these hosts is commendable. I agree. Because, I mean, listen, you got people like this, you just let them talk. Let them talk. They don't make themselves sound any better. And if you're a good host and you're smart, you can ask the right questions and they'll hang themselves.
Not to interrupt you, sorry, but just to back up for a second. So you're currently on a no-fly list based on the authoritarianism that's going on in the country.
Right.
Now, that authoritarianism, you could argue, is from the left. And the left are very happy that they have that authoritarianism. So what you want is a right-wing authoritarianism.
Yes.
But your issue is with left-wing authoritarianism.
The problem is not authoritarianism. The problem is leftism.
What about the people on the left who think of you and go, well, I don't want to live under his rule of law? Because obviously there are people who don't think like you
this
do.
is
We're
the
not a
essence
monolith.
of politics. This is the essence of politics, is that there is an us and there is a them. There
Sure.
are right-wing people and there are left-wing people. And, you know, people have varying identities with different levels of salience. But yes, the problem is that we are not in control of the regime. Ultimately, the problem is not the regime itself or power, because the thing is, and this is the problem, is that conservatives are sort of naive about power. Power, you know, we're not getting rid of it anytime soon. You know, this idea of like take over the government to let everybody go and free the people. It's like there will always be concentrated, centralized power. And the question is, well, who's going to wield it? Are we going to forfeit the playing field to the left? This is essentially what conservatives have done because they're averse to rule. You know, like when conservatives get in control of Congress or the presidency, what do? Do they go aggressively like the left does and wield the bureaucracy and wield the Congress? Or do they kind of just, you know, well, we're going to cut your taxes and we're going to do this and that. And then the left comes in with a vengeance and they say, we're going to use environmental regulations to take your gun rights.
Trami brings up or says something very astute here. As they say, do you hate the tyrant or do you hate not being the tyrant? Exactly.
And we're going to use the IRS to go after, you know, conservative nonprofits, and we're going to do this, and we're going to solidify our rule, and then we are going to set the tone for the country. And conservatives then, you know, even like when Trump gets into office, it's like, what did we accomplish in the first 2 years? When we had Congress, we had the courts, we had the White House, we did a corporate tax cut, barely repealed Obamacare. It's about it. We should have built a wall. We should have went after the endowments for the universities. We should have targeted left-wing institutions. We should have opened up the libel laws and went after the media. So,
I mean, he's not wrong about this in the sense that, like, you know, when conservatives or the right wing actually get in places of power, they don't really do very much. They're almost like feckless. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they kind of revert to their principles. They're not really interested in playing dirty. And this is something I think about a lot, actually, in terms of like, well, I feel like I'm a principled person. I don't feel like I should change or bend my behavior because somebody else acts differently. But politically, we can obviously see the damage it's doing.
Conservatives just aren't playing the game. We've got to wake up to the reality of power politics, engage and play. And so back to the original point, the problem is not that there is power, that there is authority. There will always be authority. There has to be authority. The question is who is going to wield it. And, right-wing people have to do that, which is why I said earlier, if Trump became like, the Caesar of America, hypothetically, if he had got in 16 and said, you know what, I'm not leaving, and the courts tell me that I have to leave, well, I'll disobey them. And he went full, Andrew Jackson, I would support it. I wouldn't say this is authoritarianism. This is in principle.
Well, it would be authoritarianism.
Wrong. I would say this is the right man for the job. This is a rightful ruler of America. And, and I would be okay with that.
You bring up Caesar, but didn't that end pretty poorly for them?
No, the empire.
The empire ended pretty poorly, I think.
Yeah, after hundreds of years.
Well, we've been around for about 400. How many we got left?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's just it. The Roman Republic was around, and then it gave birth to a true empire ruled by a Caesar. And then, they reached their zenith under the empire. So I don't necessarily think that's the worst thing in the world.
I just find it interesting, though, that you're promoting these ideas having not ever lived under them. I just find that that's such a, it's odd to say, let's paint the entire house blue when you've never seen a blue house.
Well, I mean, do I need to go to Russia to?
Yes, probably.
Why? I mean, why?
I mean, I'll give you an example. A very good friend of mine who I've known for about 10 years used to be very much like you, actually. And he's someone who used to really, really prop up authoritarianism. He used to.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that some people are so naive and so fucking stupid that they do have to have that tangible experience to understand what it really is and how it really affects people from all sides. If you were to bring in some sort of authoritarian government, like, just because you are quote unquote on their side does not mean you're going to benefit from it. There's nothing that says you're going to benefit from that.
And he still believes this in part, that people do need to be governed to a large extent because people, left alone are morons. And that's not saying necessarily that I even disagree with. I think your average person is probably as dumb as a bag of rocks. However, he moved to Singapore, which you could argue is not the worst place in the world. Obviously, it's quite clean. People, follow the law. The crime rate is reasonably low. But after about 2 years of living in Singapore, where they knock on your door, and this has happened to him, where he got dumped in by his neighbors for having water on his balcony, and they said it's causing a mosquito problem. Now we're at your house, prepared to fine you over mosquitoes. He said to me,
Trami says, that was an immensely stupid question, though, but the Roman Empire ended. Yeah, I guess I would. I mean, it's a stupid question. Well, they said that it ended poorly, like it didn't end well. So you can set up that system. It does not guarantee success, I suppose, is really kind of the point they were making. But I understand what you're saying, though.
I hate living in this country. I hate the authoritarianism here. I hate the way that things operate, because coming from Australia, he's an Aussie. He was like, I much prefer the way that we do things back home, or at least, the freedom that we have. And living in a country where that's staunched in some capacity was really, and is, and continues to be very bothersome and trying for him. And so I just find it interesting, though, that you've only ever lived in the United States. I just you can only do so much reading before practical experience actually should take, some sort of precedence. And I mean, I say the same thing about women too. I mean, I dare say, from my understanding of many of your viewpoints, you also promote like the way of interacting with women. And I go, have you been in a relationship with a woman?
No.
So how are you telling other people how to behave towards women when you yourself have not had any actual physical, interaction with them in a romantic capacity, or in fact, in any capacity where you uphold them in a way that treats them with respect? I mean, if you're out here arguing that women are
Look at his face. Look at his face. He doesn't even like being spoken to by a woman.
basically half the value of, well, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, in fact, because that's not right.
Mhm.
But, if you are looking to some other regimes around the world that do think that women are half the value of a man, I have to question what kind of a person who's had no experience with women is in a position to basically promote these ideas.
Well, I'm having an experience with a woman right now, and I've had lots.
Listen, Trump says, well, he is honest. I don't deny that he's honest, or even that he's not sharp in some ways. He's very funny. He's a very funny dude. He's quick. He's quick on the turnaround,
Lots of experiences with women in my life, not romantically per se, but I've talked to enough women. I've been in, I've known enough women to know sort of what's going on. And I think any man who is observant enough, and honestly, like I said, we could go back to Great Geniuses. We could go back
I
to
don't know. Like, I wish you would qualify that. Like, what is it? What's the context of women? Like, women online, women in the political, like, online space. People that just kind of vomit out their opinions, like they're some sort of like gift to the intellectual community, like Nick Fuentes a little bit all the time.
people that have been in relationships. Like a perfect example is like the pickup artists. Have you ever noticed that pickup artists who have the most relationships with women and the most sex, what they say is that really with women, it's the same bag of tricks to seduce a woman or whatever. And I think that kind of tells.
See, okay, so he brings up the pickup artists and that they are able to use these tricks, these methods to pick up women. Yeah, very particular kinds of women. I mean, there are men that would fall under the same type of like traps, like simps and stuff like that, right? They're also very predictable. That's just the pool you're trying to pull from. It's not like indicative of kind of a larger phenomenon. Like pickup artists, they're like talking about picking up chicks at fucking bars and clubs. That's not like a natural environment.
Tells you something about the nature of women, that you go from woman to woman, and it's the same kind of like little tricks, little things you could say or whatever to kind of hack them and whatever. And I think that kind of says it all about their nature. So
What does it say about our nature, Nick?
well, it says that they're not fully rational. I don't believe that, like men, they possess a sort of full rationality. I think that
Rationality towards what specifically? Or
rationality
just
entirely,
generally?
sort of objective. Yeah, I don't think they're capable of that. I think that a male has a real impersonal sense of rationality and reason. I think that a female sense is far more personal. And
yeah, it's because women are more naturally empathic, and there's value there. Men and women present an opportunity to find balance in each other. That's kind of what's indicative of a good relationship. You balance each other out. You balance each other's kind of innate natures. If you're lucky enough to be in a healthy, good one. You know what I mean?
that derives from the fact that women are made to bear children. Women are made with their wombs to bear children. And so I think their whole consciousness is basically, it's wrapped up, it's bound up in this idea that they've got to carry a child and then raise a child. And I think that the impersonality, rationality, objectivity suffers from this. But in any case, to get back to the original question, which is about experience, I don't think that I need to live in Russia to know that we would rather have right-wing people running America than left-wing people. I think that's kind of an asinine sort of thing, which people like to trot out, and they say, well, you haven't, we could qualify it with all kinds of things, but the way that we live in
Brissinger says, right, but women in politics is a whole other bag of shit.
America is unacceptable. I mean, there's homeless people everywhere. The crime's out of control. It's a corrupt country. It's a failing country. And, we want to have competent
Nick, around
leadership.
the world that have right-wing leadership still have many of those issues. And in fact, they're exacerbated oftentimes by the governments that are in power. So, and I would say too, I mean, I think it's a bit of a straw man to say that what I'm arguing here, I'm not even arguing, I'm just posing questions really, because I'm interested to hear your viewpoints. However, I'm not saying, I mean, I agree with you in the sense that we should.
Hagbert says, what would Nick say about me sewing wire into my kid's elf on the shelf so I can pose it? Beta. That's probably what he would say. Be like, why don't you get your wife to do that? Aren't you the leader of your home?
Should have, right-wing leadership. I'd prefer to live under a right-wing government, so to speak, although I am more on Eric's side of things these days, where I'm edging closer and closer towards anarchism. But, I'm not suggesting that I would rather a left-wing government over a right-wing one. I'm simply saying, having never lived under the autocratic rule that you seem to be promoting in some capacity, I'm having a hard time understanding how you can say that this would be the best way to go about doing things when you actually have no practical experience. That's all it is.
Where do we see, I'm wondering
That's
right
all
now,
I'm
but
saying.
where do we see Christ-based, like, theocratic? I think isn't that more of what you're for, is like more like a
theocracy?
monarchy?
No, you're talking about theocracy.
No, but not necessarily just theocracy, but I'm just saying, like,
Hagbert says, because she said posing Bob was a dumb idea, I'm going to prove her wrong. Go on, King. You gotta. It's your house. You know what I mean?
In some way, with authority,
Like
I'm
Iran.
assuming.
Yeah.
Well,
It's also you're just like a loving father. You know, you have a kid, and you're just like, I'm gonna make this cool for my kid. Oh, wild stuff that Nick Fuentes will probably never experience.
yeah,
You mean like
I
the
mean,
Divine Right of
but,
Kings?
but I'm
Yes.
saying that's Muslim. Yeah, but like a Christian version of, let's just say, yeah, maybe a Christian version of Iran, but not the exact government system. I'm just saying, like, where do we actually see that? Because I could just be sounding like an idiot here, but I don't know if we have any of that sanctified or left in its own original state of like a Christian autocratic type of rule. Do we have that?
Nah,
I
not
don't
that
know
I
where
can
we have
think
it.
of. Not
Like
not
on a
in
large
this day and
scale,
age.
like
Not in this day and age.
like Poland, kind of, but not really. Like that's
It's
what I'm
more
saying.
like Hungary. More like Hungary would be more comparable because, Viktor Orban, who's not perfect, but he's very good. In Hungary, he articulated, I think a few years ago, he gave a speech at a university and talked about a new Christian nationalism in Europe, as opposed to, other forms of nationalism or other kinds of democracy, and articulated, and it's not quite, what I'm talking about, a sort of autocratic rule inspired by religion, but it's a closer approximation of that. But you're right, we don't really have that. And is this a symptom of modernity? Is this liberalism? It's probably been, 100 years since we've had any kind of meaningful Christian autocratic rule anywhere in the world. And all you have to look at is the experience of history. This experiment of overthrowing the kings and overthrowing the gods, it's been a complete disaster. I mean, think about how Europe and America used to be 100 years ago. I mean, it's no contest compared to the kind of scum and degeneracy and the awful things that we see today. And all that we want is a restoration of that. And I'm a real conservative in the sense that I don't believe that we're going to get to heaven on this side of death, right? So I don't know that we're going to get to I don't know. We're not going to have a perfect society, but it's a question of what kind of a society are we going to live in? What kinds of problems do we want? Do we want to have the excesses perhaps of a Christian autocratic rule and sometimes the cruelty or things that come with that? Or do we want to live in the environment we live in now where mankind is killing itself? People are not having children and it's sickness and depravity and children are being harmed and corrupted. I mean, I don't think it gets very much worse than where we are today. Outside of some exceptional circumstances in history. So to me, that's really it's about what kind of society, what's the character of the country we want to live in.
What I will say is that I agree with Nick on the sense that, yeah, when leftists get power, unlike what the conservatives do, they are full steam ahead and they will punish their political enemies. They will rule over them. And I think it got that way. And that's just not really to my point because of this long-term sort of infiltration process where they got basically hold of every single institution. And now we just kind of see it come into fruition more than what we've ever had because we can see it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Social media, technology, all of this connectivity. Where I differ is more so because I don't see the conservatives as okay.
Trauma says yes. Spring of 1917, a great time for Europe. Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's recognizing problems and then wanting to replace them with other problems. That's the problem I have with a lot of this stuff. It's like, most people I think identify the problems in the world. We all just have different prescriptions for what would make it better. And oftentimes I just think a lot of it's very short-sighted. So this guy's like a anarcho-capitalist dude. Like they don't offer very many like practical, pragmatic solutions that would be applicable to the actual world we live in. It's like they're talking about a world 100 years from now. Like if you can get into the culture, that's really what we're talking about. Politics is completely reflexive to cultural movements. So you have to get into the culture. You have to get into music. You got to get into movies. You got to get into podcasts. You got to do all that stuff. And over a long enough period of time, maybe things would change in that respect. Because people that are in political positions really only exist to maintain their positions, maintain their power. So if large swaths of the country kind of believe a certain thing, then they go that way. Right now, we just live in this very hyper partisan moment where there's like a hard line down the middle for a lot of people. You're on this side or you're on that side, and there is no in between. There is no gray area. There's nothing else to discuss, and that's kind of why we see the kind of, I don't know, the paradigm that we're currently living under politically, and it all springs from culture. Hagbert says J.P. Morgan thought that the spring of 1917 was wonderful. Made a lot of money.
Wielding it and doing nothing. I think of it more as, to me, and maybe this is just through my lens, in that they ensure the power structure of leftists, and they set them up for success to then fuck us over. Let's call it what it is. And again, when I say punish their political enemies, I want to be direct and I want to be clear here. I see them as the direct enemy here, considering all the subcultures that I'm involved in, and they're controlled by leftists, and they've been running the bitch into the ground for as long as I've been alive. It's just been accelerated over certainly the last.
Like, I don't agree with everything this dude says, but I think he goes by Rucka 69 or something like that. But he's a straight shooter, man. Like, he says what he believes. He doesn't make apologies. I guess much like Nick Fuentes, but it seems like he's a little bit more informed. Brissinger says the thing is, the gray eventually comes. It's going to happen. It doesn't stay hardline. I think I know what you mean.
The last decade. But I would much rather, and going back to my original point of like pulling the rug certainly from under them, because yeah, I can understand that at least in our lifetimes.
Well, I guess I would say to that is that nothing ever is a constant forever. It's always shifting and changing relative to people trying to control the conversation and trying to control culture. And that's never going to go away. There's always going to be people that want to vie for that control, be subversive, influential, to meet their own political ends. And right now we're living in the country, especially like in the past, 60 years, there's a huge subversive project to kind of develop the country culturally. And we're kind of living in the effects of that right now. It's no longer hidden. It's no longer just something intellectual that people will talk about. The postmodernist project. They're trying to bring it into reality. We live in a very weird time. A very weird time.
With government, it may be present in this geographical area. Is that going to be difficult to get away from? Potentially. However, I do think the scale of that can certainly change within our lifetimes. I do think that that's certainly achievable.
But I am saying that on the side note, you were noting, because yes, we have special buttons and we can chat to each other on the show, is that Sydney doesn't know anything about you, really. I mean, besides what she's heard on there. And she's like,
and I do want to say, like, I've said I do know many of your views on women, which I find abhorrent. I'm going to be honest. I don't agree with you in any capacity on that front. But I actually went into this reasonably, like, not really knowing your broader, views on things. And so I don't really have an opinion of you, if I'm honest. And so that's why, I mean, it's really funny. People are like, Sydney's really triggered. And I'm honestly just sitting here just listening and just, getting a feel for things. But I was saying to Elijah, it's interesting. I think you're being very respectful. And I think that's really nice because people make you out to be this, assassin that's going to just stab everybody in the face. And I think you are being very respectful, and you're obviously very polite in person. But dude, your followers are very interesting people.
Yes.
And I find it interesting how you appear certainly one way in person. And I would say you're nice in person, and
Thank
then
you.
in the chat I don't understand. Are you aware that your followers are like this?
Well, they're very animated, very enthusiastic.
And the followers he's talking about are the Groypers, and they're very young dudes.
The thing is that the thing about our people, me and my followers, is that we are really oppressed in a big way. And so you really can't divorce this from how we are. I mean, when you take a look at my followers, the Groypers, or somebody like myself, I mean, we really have been treated unfairly by society. And, some people say, hey, your followers aren't very polite, or they're very
I think
rowdy
it's,
or
I think it's
something
more
like
than
that.
that, Nick. Though I think that they, like, for example, they attack Elijah personally. They attack
Uh-huh.
me personally. I don't
There's a
think.
phrase for it being called groiped, right? Am I
That's
right?
right.
I don't think that.
Got groiped.
I mean, you can extend this into other people who've been horrible to you personally, and that's
Mhm.
completely fair. If
Right.
they, want to go for them, fine. But if I'm just asking you questions merely to dig into your viewpoints, which I think is a fair thing to do on a show like this,
Mhm.
I don't know why anybody would turn that into a personal attack. Now, I don't care. Like, do whatever. Like,
I
I
think
mean,
the word you're looking for is pieces of shit.
well, I mean, it's kind of, it's just like, I don't get it. Like, and if you do think you're oppressed, which
Yeah,
is
but that's what
fine,
I'm getting at, is that's why there's sort of a defensive posture, is because
Sure.
if you look at
Yeah,
my
and if you were like a good leader of of a bunch of young men, a group of people, you would want them to present themselves well so that your ideas promulgate. Most people find that kind of stuff kind of off-putting. Just like, once you become an adult, like, bro dude posturing is just not that like interesting, attractive, doesn't make you want to listen to anybody. I mean, I'm just talking about just the general affectation of some of these people. Maybe we'll see if we can find some videos of the groypers in action.
experience and the experience of people that I know, it's being subject to horrible lies and slander, and so
But Nick, all of us
that's
are
how it
though in
goes.
this space. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
but not really
Elijah
quite on
apparently
the
is a
same level.
terrorist. Dude, the stuff that this kid's been exposed to? I mean, like, he's on the same level as.
But I
Well,
did have a federal credential, so I got out. But I did get. I'm saying, like, did you read? I'm going to tell you this. Did you read how he
Yes.
got rid of his Twitter's ADL
yes,
expose?
I did actually. Yes, I did see that.
Can I just say this? So, like, I know you're explaining this, so I really am not trying to get in the way. But what is so interesting is that if you read the ADL thing, and you laugh at this too, like, I started to think about this of why Nick Fuentes is evil, right? So, like, because I know that this is what everybody does. And the first time I had to interview him, I got this whole email with all this shit I had to add before I introduced him. But it's like everybody's always like, oh, Nick's evil. And like the only reason why people think he's evil and like go on that is because the gatekeepers that hate him, people are afraid of pissing them off. Because when you really look into Nick's like life, people are like, but he's an anti-Semite. And so first of all, but people say this, right? And it's like, well, why? And it's like, he made this joke about cookies and the Jews. And I go, okay, I don't know about you, but I'm not a bitch enough to actually care about that. Like, I literally the humor thing, like, it's like people always say, well, I wouldn't say that. I haven't said
ask
that.
what this is, but I
Well,
don't know. Not
No,
no.
but
YouTube already hates us.
Yes, but I'm
and
saying no, but I'm saying, like,
show me afterwards.
it's
and
like,
then I can
okay, so
understand,
if you
'cause
wouldn't,
I don't know what that is.
no, but if you wouldn't say it, then just don't say it. But did you really think someone's evil because they made a joke? And then it's like, well, yeah, but you're not supposed to question that. It's like, well, I come from the intellectual movement where literally you can question anything, and it doesn't mean that it's that anytime someone's trying to say that you're immoral for asking questions or clearly have bad motives, are ignorant, or a part of something, whether it's the pandemic or climate change, let people ask questions. And it's so funny because when I read the ADL defamation article about him, it was like 90% of the things that they said about him that were evil were just like normal mainstream conservative like ideas. It was like, he questions the election and he believes in right-wing authoritarianism, and it was like he believes the right wing should be the only wing. And then there's like the only part that's like probably different than the average person is that he's made inappropriate jokes on camera versus people have probably made similar jokes off camera. And I read it and I was waiting for it to be like, called for arms, called for terrorism, called for the Ku Klux Klan to be reinstated, called for lynchings. Like, I'm going through this article. It's so in depth. And it's basically the end of it was like, this guy makes bad jokes and he says sarcastic things. And he also doesn't know if Biden was there because of votes. And I like read it. I'm like, this is the worst hit piece on this guy. And then I realized but like she was saying, it occurred to me, go, why everyone thinks Nick is the worst guy in the world is because of the way his followers act towards people, and they can't disconnect. No, but I'm saying, like, they can't disconnect because they hear things about you that are exaggerated, but then they interact with, like, you get groiped and they get these people, so they assume they connect it. Like, Nick is just trying to like infiltrate and hurt my life. But when people meet you like she did, she's like, this is actually not who I thought I was about to meet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a polite, amicable. I'm a human being. I'm a human being. I'm a free thinker. And ultimately, my job is to provoke. Like, when I decided to do my show, I wanted to do something novel. A lot of people.
Okay, all right, I get it. Well, that's interesting. So before let's watch what the world would be like if Nick Fuentes had his cat boy paradise. brought to us by the boys. $1 Million Extreme, gonna give them the full respect here, full screen. It is 3,000 years in the future. 2 centuries have passed since the War of the Pink Flesh. Having purged the earth of all women and perfected genetic cloning, mankind enjoys an unending epoch of masculine global peace.
And so we find ourselves at the beginning of a new age, an age of all peace and all bounty for all mankind, simply because we have vanquished mankind's mortal enemy. Brother, how do you find yourself today? Happy and smiling, do friend. However, our friend Charles in the wood has become somber.
Except this would just all be cat boys. You gotta think of cat boys, you gotta think of men with cat ears.
He had heard word from a passenger pigeon that you have become ill. Brother, silly thought. Illness has been vanquished ever since the great purging. Good way. Ah, brother, I see you're enjoying your physicality. Yes, brother. Isn't it good being a man? Terrific. Delightful. Are you close to climaxing? Yes, I shall leave you to it then, brother. All praise to the great purging, brother. Delight. Simply delight. And at last I find my dearest, warmest of companions atop the hill. What has nature's bounty brought to you today? It has made me well, brother. I am filled with the fruits of the great purge. I feel it within me. Sometimes I do become somber. The past sometimes irks me so. It reminds me of a time when a man proved his worth.
Look, it's Nick Fuentes right here. This is him. Living in his cat boy heaven. His cat boy paradise.
Pair of shoes by getting on his knees and offering diamonds. I just don't. No more pain, no more slime, no more misery, no more shoes, no more big fucking shoes. Only justice, intellect, volumes in the mind, not perversions of the feet. This day is very fine, Sam. How goes it? How goes it with you? Peace, peace, peace upon mankind forever, forever. Here. I'll see you burn in the fires, burn in the fires, you horrible cunt, horrible swine, you bitch, you goddamn bitch. I'm so fucking horny.
Oh my god, I had that dream again. Where all the women were gone.
You mean the men were all just getting along? No women there to impede their progress? Oh. It's okay. It's all right. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. Okay.
How many Instagram followers do you think they have?
Man, you're such a dope bitch. I just love tonguing your ass and getting all up in your gruts. Man, you know, I just love tonguing your ass and getting all up in your gruts.
It's pretty good. Well, there you have it. There's Nick Fuentes' Catboy Paradise. We've seen it. We've seen the dream. All right, well, let's see what the Groypers are up to. Groypers clash with LGBT for Trump. Let's see what's on offering. Why not?
All I'm asking is, why am I not accepted by you? Are you the gatekeeper of conservatives? That's my question.
That would be nice, but no.
I mean, how big of an ego do you have to think that you want to be the gatekeeper of conservatives? And you are going to tell me that I am a freak and I am whatever BS. I mean, you sound like a Democrat putting me into a box.
Trami says, finally, something to fight for. With intellect and not have to be bothered with the oppression of the big shoe.
I sound like
It's if you guys have ever seen the movie Zardoz, it's very Zardoz.
Democrat. No, I sound like a conservative from any year before 2010. Every conservative will say the same thing.
No, you don't. You sound. Wait.
I got my fellow homophobes.
You know what you sound like? You sound like the Westboro Baptist Church who are avowed Democrats. Do you know that?
No, I'm saying that woman. The irony of her calling me a faggot and you're calling me a homophobe. That woman just came up and called me a faggot, which is funny.
You know, your arguments are literally page by page from the Westboro Baptist Church.
You're the archetypical conservative man with your girly voice and your high heels. Wow, look at those shoes.
Aren't they beautiful? That's right. This is liberal.
Bro, the Pride Parade's down the street, bro. I thought it's a Trump rally. What the hell? You people not see what's happening.
Trami says, I was thinking that too. Very Zardoz Eternals. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let me tell you what's going on.
The American fabric.
I cannot stand the world we live in. It's just everybody there has got got a fucking cell phone and they're just filming it. Oh, we live in such a goddamn hellspace.
Okay, let me back away and I'll tell you. So what you have here is you have the American First Group, which are very far right, very traditional values. They're anti-gay. They have an issue with Jewish people. It's a whole different philosophy. A lot of the stuff I like what they say, but they're very anti-gay. So what they're doing is going head to head with gay conservatives right now.
Using your religion to write laws to dictate people's actions is actually the antithesis
guess
of
what?
freedom.
Why do we have decency laws in this country up until like 50 years ago?
It sounds it really does. It sounds like a Muslim to me. It sounds Muslim to me to have decency laws.
Why did the
Do you agree with Muslims? Do you agree with Muslims?
On some issues, yeah. On some issues, yeah.
Hagbard says it's culture war criminal.
You guys share this video. This is getting good.
For reasons of the fact that we protect life, liberty, and the
I mean, I'm going to be honest, I probably have more in common with the devout Muslim than with you.
You probably do. So why are you conservative?
Because I proclaim that Christ is king, and America needs to return to conservative values. And men in high heels, the fact that you're even allowed to show yourself here is a disgrace. And the fact you're not embarrassed.
But see, I will stand for your right to say that. I will stand here in my heels for your right to say that.
Like Voltaire, bro.
Yeah, say what you will, but the gay conservative people are very patient. I'll give them that. Trump says, "Oh no, the Muslims."
I've been assaulted by BLM and Antifa. I don't care. I will still stand up for your right to say.
So this is Mario Presents on the right here.
I guess so. I'm sure the heels help a little bit. Do you stand up for the right of
I will speak for the right for anybody. Anybody to speak their mind. Because our freedom of speech is more important than anything else. Because anything you try to suppress becomes bigger and worse off than what it should have been. And you can see this in Germany. In Germany, you see a rise of right wing. Yeah, go ahead.
That attitude, you're going to lose. And the more people from you, you're going to lose your country, you're going to lose your family. I've seen younger hosts that have
No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not.
We love each other, guys. We love each other.
Brinsinger says, "I'm just in awe. What audacity!" Well, it's like, man, if you're in a fight, when you think you're in a culture war, a culture fight, you're gonna need everybody you can get because it's about affecting culture broadly. That's the truth. It's very short-sighted, especially like somebody like this. Trami says, "There's so much." Just having an opinion for the fucking sake of having an opinion. I would 1000% agree with that.
Yeah, and a bunch of people wearing like all
Stop playing with each other, guys. Hold it.
You got a bigger camera than me.
So, but you wouldn't accept my help on the battlefield if someone would have told you some sort of mid
on the battlefield. Yeah, you're gonna break your fucking ankles on the battlefield.
I guarantee you I won't.
Like on the battlefield, and then the guy takes it to the most literal place possible. Yo, how you gotta run up them hills, man? How you gotta fight in heels?
That's right. That makes sense because I'm very right-leaning. I come from a very right area. We use guns. We have. I can.
Well, there's that. What was that? Some Groiper rally moments. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, there she is.
You can leave anytime you want.
What's going on?
She's not wearing the mask properly. I need you. I need it over your nose, ma'am. Over your nose, please.
He's calling me shit. He's fucking saying like, "Oh, little girl, good little girl." He's fucking creepy, and I don't like it.
I need it over your nose.
Are you being creepy, JB? What's going on?
I'm not creepy. If she's gonna wear the mask outside, she needs to wear it properly. It needs to be over your nose.
You're not even
Pretty based. If you're gonna do this, you're gonna wear this outside. And maybe wear it right. If you're gonna virtue signal about this, like wear it appropriately.
Because I don't abide by that. I don't believe in masks, but you clearly do, so I need it worn
There's no
properly.
point wearing it if you're not gonna put it over your nose.
Exactly. So I need it over your nose. Thank you. Right here, like this. Do this. Do it, or take the mask off. That's fine also. But either put it over your nose or don't wear it. And don't cry. It's big boy. It's big,
Man,
big
you
boy
gonna make
time.
her cry, dude? What the fuck?
Over your nose. Good job. Over the nose.
Are you just gonna keep telling me to put the mask on if I don't fix it?
You can literally walk away at any point. I'm just mogging you right now. I am owning you so hard because you're still standing here. Over your nose. Over the nose. Like this.
How long?
I'll hold your sign for you while
No,
you do
it's
it.
my sign.
Okay.
It's my sign.
But I need it over your nose.
How long are you gonna sit here and tell me about my mask?
As long as you're willing to participate in this interaction, which clearly seems like longer than you want to do it. So either take the mask off or put it over your nose. One of the two. Take it off. No, you have three options actually. You can take the mask off. No, listen.
Sticking out now.
Yeah, she's not wearing.
Hanging out now.
She's not even wearing it properly. So either
a dog collar.
Exactly. Either take it off.
Look at all these psychos with phones. Look at them all.
I have
Frankly,
no
at this
owner.
point, that's what we
I'm
would be asking.
unclaimed.
She's not even wearing.
Oh.
You got nothing better to do? Why don't you go get a job? Oh, then go to your job. It's fucking Monday. It's like 1 o'clock. You obviously don't get enough hours. Go to fucking McDonald's. They hire you for like 40-hour weeks minimum.
Wait, it's slipped again. It's
Well,
slipped
you just
again.
assume my
It's slipped
gender. I'm gonna
again.
put
It's
that back
slipped
on you.
again.
You just call me man.
Ma'am, I need this over your nose if you're gonna wear the mask.
You need to fucking shower.
I showered this morning.
Ma'am, I need it over your.
I do not understand like people that take these conversations at face value. The guy's like, "You need to go take a shower," and she's like, "I took a shower this morning." Why would you even fucking respond to that? Or if the dude's like giving you a hard time about the mask, like why even engage with it? just like, I'm not saying I agree with this person, but it's just like, if you're here and you're doing this and you're going to confront people, you don't need to be a fucking moron. Maybe Nick Fuentes was right.
Who knows? And you have my friend's battery. That's what started all this. You have my friend's battery.
Yes, I did. Did you? Did you vote this time? Yeah. Good. Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, of course, dude.
Good.
Why?
Okay, so this is this guy is Elijah Schaffer. This is the person that was hosting the interview with Nick Fuentes, him and that woman. I can't remember her name. Because the only time I've ever, not because I don't like, for any weird reason, the only time I've ever seen her is in that video. But so this is who this guy is, because he's had interactions with Nick's fan base. So this should be interesting. Trauma says panicked self-defense, I imagine. Yeah, I mean, like you're in the moment. You don't have a really well thought out thing. You're not expecting kind of these very basic questions, and it kind of throws you off.
Well, we'd be upset with you, right? Right? Because you're supposed to be a conservative, and then you're like this California conservative. Oh, yeah. Yes, you're actually very soft on social issues. Giving away what are you conservative? What are you conservative?
What's the question?
No, I have to say, like the Elijah Schaffer dude, I don't know a ton about him, but I've never seen him be quote unquote like soft on social issues. I don't know. I guess to them, like thinking like gay people it's okay to be gay and be part of the MAGA movement or whatever you want to call it, be a conservative. Maybe he doesn't care about that. Maybe that's what they're talking about.
What are you conserving?
What am I not conserving? I voted against gay marriage in California. I've voted against gay marriage. I've voted for everybody who loves the country.
Are you a Christian? Are you a Christian? Okay.
I'm married. I'm trying to have a kid soon. Got a dog, buying a home, hanging out, starting a family. Married a virgin.
See, this is the difference between somebody like this and the Groypers. Like, he is an established professional person with like a house, a wife, a dog, a kid on the way. Like he's actually probably more representative of the full package than any of these dudes are, because they don't even want to talk to a woman. They don't even want to attempt to build these things, build a family, build a life, integrate into society in a way where they start a business, etc., etc.
I'm good. Go to church. What am I saying?
I appreciate what you do, though. You do a little tattletale. You do a little bit of shit kicking here and there.
Tell me what? I'm cool Christian. I'm what?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, we can shit kicking.
Oh, you took down your interview with Nick Fuentes.
It's on Blaze TV.
It's on Blaze
yeah,
TV,
it's on Blaze
not
TV.
on YouTube.
Both are not.
Why was it taken out?
I taken Alex Jones and Gavin because people who are banned, if you look at it, like just like Tim Pool got his Alex Jones taken down.
Oh, right there it is.
I'm not joking. Well, fine. I mean, I'm not going to lose my platform. I kept them on Blaze TV. That's why we have a censorship-free platform. So, to be fair, it's up there.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Like, so they're trying to criticize them for taking those things off of YouTube, which in the interim, since this video was posted, there's an interview with Nick Fuentes, there's an interview with Alex Jones, because YouTube kind of cooled off. Now, I would agree in the sense that, like, you have to bend the knee to these platforms if you want to be on them. And there is a little bit of like some sort of like, you could quote unquote call it hypocrisy in that sense. But at the same time, like, if it's still readily available, you just have to go somewhere else, just like you have to just go somewhere else to watch these guys, and Alex Jones or Nick Fuentes. You just have to go to a different website. It really shouldn't be that big of a deal. They're not hiding the material.
You can go watch it whenever you want.
Okay, well, we don't appreciate you spreading this California conservatism crap.
What is California conservatism?
You know, it's soft on
Why don't you tell us?
social
What social? I'm not fighting you. I'm just asking, what social issues would I be soft on? I'm always open to conversation. I'm always open to changing or adapting or learning. Like, I mean,
Are you really?
Yeah, I really am.
How do you feel about immigration? I mean, what's your stance on that?
Near zero. I mean, but it's the case of my wife's an immigrant from Australia. I think like Western countries should be prioritized in terms
Like we
of
should
that.
have net zero immigration? Is that what you mean, or?
Yeah, near net zero. But I think that there should be situations, especially like for marriage. Like, I think also too, like if you're looking for asylum, like from South Africa, like the farmers, people who love us, or in
I mean, these guys are so fucking dumb. They don't really know anything about this dude. They're asking him all of these like questions that he has answers for. They're just and they alienate themselves. Like, that's why this will never really grow into anything. Nobody ever has to worry about the Groypers ever becoming anything substantial because they're just hostile. They're just caustic for almost no real reason.
Hong Kong, for instance, during the revolution, they loved America, loved American values, so they took priorities, and some asylum was good. So for the most part, I think there's other limitations.
Thank you everyone for being here. This is fucking epic, dude. America first. Hey, I was thinking.
Oh, here we go. We got Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska in the house. Somebody you totally want involved in your movement if you want to be taken seriously. Like, you know, when you think of like grifters and stuff like that, Baked Alaska, all of his persecution, political and otherwise, is completely self-imposed because he's a fucking moron.
You guys want to sing a song real quick? Yeah! Okay, what song do you guys want to sing?
See, this is because he's like a crazy sociopath narcissist. Freebird. Oh, there he is. There's Nick Fuentes right there. He's like, yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Like a child. Like a little boy.
Okay, let me see how that song goes. Give me a second. Okay, let's just do We Love Our Cops. Everyone knows that.
He's like, oh, I know that one. We Love Our Cops. Out now on iTunes, Spotify, Strangler, whatever other platforms.
Okay, sing with me. We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important. We love our cops, our law enforcement.
Oh, God. Cringe levels just through the fucking roof. The cringe. The cringe. I'm gonna throw some of this in a cup in a in a glass of vodka. The cringe.
Military, they're important. And when I'm in a jam, I know that I can call up the man, with the plan. When I'm on the run, when I'm on the...
That's what I don't like about these. They're bootlickers. They're bootlickers. Just reflexively. They're reflexively bootlickers. It's the weirdest shit.
The run, all I gotta do is dial 911. Thank you guys so much. And I'll tell you something. Yesterday, I saw on the sidewalk a message. It said, it's okay to be black. And that's true. But I see that message and I see the black.
He knows this guy's in front of him. Reagan, Bush, 84. Just that right there should tell you everything you need to know. Reagan, Bush, 84. Holy shit. Singing the praises of Reagan relative to the kind of things that these dudes say. Mr. Amnesty. Aren't they completely against that kind of thing?
Black Lives Matter movement, and I'm thinking to myself, being black sucks!
Oh, poor bastard.
Let him finish! Let him finish! Tell the truth! Tell the truth! Tell the truth! How about my
Trump says, I reluctantly learn something whenever I come here. That's good. I guess it's good to know what's out there. I mean, we're both learning together, Tarami. We're both learning together. This is an honest enterprise, an honest exploration.
African American. Let's go! Get the fuck out of here! Fucking faggot! Christ is king! 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 We have a century now.
What started all this? You have my friend's battery that he specifically told me to come find you and get, Richard, Hillbilly Chad.
Okay.
And she said, "Why are you stalking me?" I said, "How would I know that you have the battery unless he told me to find you and get the battery?" And you're still here too. You can literally walk away, but you like male attention because your father likely was not in your life. Am I right?
Is it really any of your business? You just say
Boom, boom. Telling you, it's all the same story. It's all the same story. These people do not have fathers in their lives, and they seek male attention, like what we just saw right
Is your
here.
father in your life? You're gonna say
Absolutely. My dad is one.
Is your dad the same way?
My dad is literally my best friend. I talk to my dad every day. Not many people can say that. I talk to my dad daily. What we just saw there is that she's coming back. She's coming back because she likes male attention. Hello, friend.
I should kick you in the fucking balls right now.
That would be
I don't understand. I mean, he's not wrong. It's just like you can just leave. You can just walk away. You don't have to have this interaction. Nobody is forcing you to do this. Like getting into an argument with this dude who's not going to fucking move his position is just like a way to be. It's like self-aggrandizement. Because they got the phone. They're out there. They're streaming. They want to be just like, hey, I've confronted one of these people. Look at me confronting them. Why? Why even bother? At least after a certain point. Shit.
fucking good content, I have to say.
But you're back. You're back. She's back again. And did I,
that would be good content. Probably arrest you
over
guys.
the nose. Over the nose. Good job.
She fucking did it. Why? Why?
You did what the system told you to do. Over your nose. Have I moved? Have I adjusted?
So she can now she's just like showing everybody, I got the mask on right. I got the mask on right. Here we go.
Absolutely not. I don't abide by those stupid CDC guidelines. Those are for Satan worshippers. Oh, good job.
I don't abide by those stupid CDC guidelines. Those are for Satan worshipers. You know, I gotta tell you, this guy is funny as fuck.
Your nose again, like the system told you. Very slavish mentality.
Hackbird says they're married now and living in Framingham.
She's a slave to the system. And you're gay because you're not wearing a mask. She obeys what the system tells her to do.
Why are you so mean, JB?
She brought
What's
it
the
to
problem,
us.
dude? Come
She
on, man.
brought it to us, and I'm based.
Come on, man. Why you
She's
so
tapped out. I'm tapped in.
Why you so mean? Come on.
She is tapped out. I'm tapped.
She is tapped out. I am tapped in, he says. Trami says the dude that has this preacher shtick that I can't help but be impressed by. Yeah, I agree. Like he's making his points. Like he made his point in a way that she clearly cannot. Is there any more hot Groiper action we can find? So there's this channel that's all groypers. This week on women. Oh. Oh, Trami says, impressive. My spelling tonight, man. Hey, dude, no worries, man. I know how it is. You're trying to type in your what you got to say and stuff like that. I getcha. This week on women. This is from the same channel. So the channel that we've just watched, he's got a ton of clips of Nick Fuentes and Groyper stuff. Let's check out This Week on Women. I don't know what this is, so we're gonna find out together. I have no idea what this is.
Alright, today we're going to do something a bit different. It's not going to be your typical type of video, but I have to talk about this, about what's been happening lately on the internet regarding women, okay? So this is This Week on Women, okay? I'm going to go off on a rant today. And
Where the hell is this guy from?
the first one is going to be a black pill because this is just retarded, okay? We have to put it that way, okay? What we've got right now, I got an article right now for the National File that's saying Trump admin official sets up OnlyFans account, compares herself to Melania Trump, okay? Let's just start reading the first paragraph. Trump
Which is true. Like if you people in the Groyper movement, Melania Trump used to be a model. Like she used to be the original e-thought. So you kind of have to accept that. Hagbert says South Africa? ? I think actually you might be right. That sounds about right.
administration official Brittany Rose Housey has set up an OnlyFans account featuring pornographic imagery of herself. Okay. And you want to
Well, do you want to jerk off to communists for the rest of your life, buddy? Come on now.
see her response to all the criticism, and we know why there's criticism to begin with, because we expect liberals, we expect libertarians, or whatnot, we expect society to accept this kind of degeneracy, to post nude images just for a quick buck, for whatever reason. We understand that there's prostitutes, we understand that there's sluts who just want to make money off, devaluing themselves, but we don't expect this of conservatives, okay? We don't expect conservatives to take this kind of thing. We don't expect conservatives to even do such a thing or even think about doing such a thing. But lo and behold, what have we got right here? A woman that was hired by Jared Kushner, okay, has her OnlyFans account, okay, and it's complete and utter ridiculousness the way she responds to all the hate, okay? I understand that there are women out there that go on OnlyFans because they need to pay off their college debt. Because it's not just, contrary to popular belief, it's not just, whores that are on OnlyFans. There's also people who are that desperate to pay off their college tuition because that's how expensive it is nowadays. I don't think you should do so.
Who's this guy? He's probably like 19, 20 years old.
Such a thing anyway. You should never bring yourself to that level. You should never stoop yourself to that level. I think in this case, I'm not sure if it is regarding college. I just think she's just a whore. I don't know. She looks.
Yeah, well, she looks pretty all right. Like I said, if you're gonna fap MAGA.
Kind of. I don't know. She looks too old though for college. I don't know. But let's just see her response. Okay. So she responds using Instagram story. She says, "You can't be Catholic and have an OnlyFans." Says you. Everyone sins. You are sitting by judging. Which is complete and utter baloney, okay? This is how you know.
Yeah, well, I would agree. Like, this is a dumb argument. Like, oh, you can't be Catholic and have an OnlyFans. Says you. Everyone sins. You're sinning by judging. You sin when you eat fish. You sin when you curse. You sin when you do this or that. I love God. He loves me. And I try my best to be a good person every day. I don't need to follow the writings in the Bible to know I'm doing a good job with myself or my life. I think God will forgive me showing my titties when there's hundreds of rapists, molesters, and murderers out there he has to deal with. Might be true. Tarami says, well, been fun and educational as always, but got to turn in. Peace, Sean. Hey, Tarami, have a good night, my friend.
No, she doesn't even read the Bible. First of all, what it says in the Bible is basically you can't be a hypocrite. If you're going to hold people to a standard, you better make sure you also meet that standard as well. Okay, the Bible is not against judging people at all. Wrong, okay? So I could pull up some Bible verses right now to show that the Bible is not against judging.
Okay. All right. We get I get it. All right, let's see what else he's got on his channel before we move on. This channel is called Zoomer Nat, in case you're curious. Find an older video. Let's see. Naming and shaming a leftist. Oh, this is a Groyper super fan. He's just kind of collected tons and tons and tons of little clips and all sorts of stuff. I don't know which one. Paused Victoria. Let's look at that. Let's look at this video. Why not?
Hello, guys. Zoom in.
Oh, okay. He does commentary. I'm not very interested in his commentary. If I'm being on the real, not super interested in his commentary. So if he does commentary in every video, I think we can move on. What do I got here? So let's look at some simp stuff here. We got Crushing the Simp Within. I was a simp. Oh, I was a simp. Let's check that one. This guy's a no fapper.
I was a simp.
He doesn't believe in masturbation. He doesn't believe in any of that nonsense. He's an elevated, enlightened man, enlightened person. See what he's got to say for himself.
I was a simp. When you look at me, you don't see one. You see the guy that's on nofap, the guy that's anti-simp. But at one point in my life, I was a huge simp. I was a beta male cuck that was extremely needy and was always lusting and falling over head over heels for girls.
He looks like that Simpsons character. Not Krusty the Clown. The one that Kelsey Grammer voiced.
Girls all day long. It's all I would think about. I had no drive, no purpose in life. I was just a drifter, just floating about, trying to chase girls and getting none of them. It wouldn't change the fact if I did get the girls or not. It wouldn't change the fact that at one point I was a really big simp. And this started off at around
Prophet says beta. And Hagrid comes in with the answer. Sideshow Bob. Thank you.
I'd say 5th grade when I first discovered P0RN. And when I first discovered that, obviously, I was like, I think I was like 12 years old at that point, or no, not even, I was like 10 years old at that point in 5th grade. And when I discovered P0, it turned me, hands down is what turned me into a simp, is because when I, obviously at that age, you start to notice like, oh, wow, I really like girls at this point. And I don't want to just be friends with them. I want to be, I have a crush on girls, because I'm 10 years old and everything. But when you start to lust over girls at that age all day long, every single day, when you see a girl and you don't ever think, oh, maybe me and her can just be friends, or I can just talk to her like a regular human being. Girls no longer are regular human beings to you. They're this some sort of goddess that you have to be so nervous to speak to, and you have to try everything that you can do to win them over, so you can eventually get to your end goal, which is always going to be sex. And the reason that my end goal was always that was because when you start to watch porn, that's all you think about all day long. You don't see girls as regular human beings anymore. And the problem with that, by the way, girls are regular human beings. You can speak to them the same way that you speak to your boys. Totally normal. If you don't make it awkward, it won't be. But the problem with that is that when you see other human beings as better than yourself or worth more than yourself, you start to devalue yourself. And that's
100% true. This guy is, as they say, spitting hot fire, spitting truth. When you look at everything as a means to an end that ends in sex, it definitely affects your relationship with women, and it affects your relationship with yourself and how you view yourself, how you view them. I have not heard anything disagreeable thus far because like I said, he's a no fap guy. He doesn't masturbate. Like, that's his big thing.
a common trait and characteristic amongst everybody that is a simp. Everyone that's the tier 3 sub simp meme, they look at themselves as if they are nothing. When they look at themselves in the mirror, they don't say, I love this person, I love being me, I love living in my body, I love every single second that I spend with myself. They don't say that. That's the opposite of what they think. Actually, they lust after girls because they themselves don't love themselves. And I feel like this is becoming more and more of an issue in our current generation because of how common and normal it is to just pull out your phone and just get a plethora of girls thrown at you that are half naked, the Instagram models, and be lusting over females at this point. You don't have to go to a gas station and go to the back and find the adult magazine section where you have to go steal a magazine and hide it in your backpack or something and take it home with you and start fapping. No, it's now you literally pull out your phone, type in a 7-character letter in your browser and press enter. And now you got an unlimited.
See, he's not wrong. See, this right here is a productive way, a kind way, dare I say, of elucidating the same points. But it's in a way that's inviting. It's not like overly like comically based or anything like that. It's just like, this is a reality that young men have to deal with right now. Actually, it's just a positive way to do this.
Millions of hours of naked people right in front of you that you can watch. And that's why being a simp is so common nowadays. That's why the meme turned into a real thing. You have to ask yourself, why was being a simp not common 20 years ago or 35 years ago? It's because there was less of it. It was less of a joke. There were just a couple of guys that obviously.
Well, exactly, because men were not just like exclusively looking to be turned on all of the time. Like, it was something that was like, pornography's been around for quite a while, a few hundred years at least, but in earnest, probably since what, like the 40s? But it wasn't the whole package. It wasn't, you couldn't get everything from that. And now that people have these kind of artificial relationships with people online, it can have a lot of negative consequences to your wiring and how you think about sexuality in general.
They were lusting, but now it's like every other guy is one. By the way, I made a video on how to block P from your router. It's like a 30-second YouTube short. Watch that, check it out, and block it from router so your little brothers and sisters don't ever end up watching that stuff and turn into one for themselves. But as the time went on, 6th grade, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and maybe all the way up to 12th grade is when I finally realized that I don't have to be this way anymore. I don't have to lust over girls anymore. All right. I look at them now as a regular human being. I talk to them. My heart rate still does increase. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still normally a pretty shy person. I'm still pretty awkward, whether it be a guy or a girl in real life. I still do get shy, which is completely normal in my case. But
Hagbert says, now it's all at arm's reach. Exactly. Like, when there is nothing to be like sought after or gained, it makes people very insular. You don't have to experience life. You don't have to develop relationships, not real ones. And then on the other side of that, it's also, we have such a weird access to each other that we've never had before as human beings. And it clearly is having a negative effect on how we deal with society, how we deal with ourselves.
I look at them as a human. And that's what made me less of a simp. I first off, I stopped watching P. I stopped fapping because I realized that those two behaviors that I was doing was destructive for my health, my mental health, and it was not going to take me far in life. It was
Brissinger says he also probably gets more tail than those other guys. He might at this point in his life. He might, right? Because he's redirected his energy, whatever you want to call it, and he's no longer a slave to the concept of getting laid. That abstract notion that kind of controls everything you fucking do when you're young. He's moved beyond it. He's an enlightened man.
It's only going to lead to my demise. So I stopped doing it. And I found that
Britt Singer says, but do we need more guys to say this kind of thing? You know, we probably do, because it's the minority opinion. Like, not a lot of people say, like, hey, it's okay not to fucking be obsessed with getting laid or engaging in this kind of behavior. Just for, like, there's a generation of people that, like, kind of need that. I'm not saying that it needs to be, like, all consuming. You need to model your life after it or anything like that, but it's okay that if that voice is out there, at the very least, just to give you something to think about. That might be a good thing for a lot of people.
that when I found my purpose in life, which is what I'm doing right now, filming YouTube videos, when I found that this is the drive, that when I wake up in the morning, this is what I want to do, that I don't need an alarm clock to do this, I started to value myself higher. I went from the kid in
And that's a big part of this, is just purpose. Not necessarily making YouTube videos, but having a sense of purpose, having some self-respect, having your own drive, having your own vision, having your own wants and needs, and getting out there and trying to get it, because that innately, automatically will attract people that you want in your life.
fifth grade that looked at himself as nothing, as a worthless piece of trash, overweight, couldn't get my life together. I was not moving forward in any sense. I was just a drifter. But when I truly realized that my purpose in life is to be a YouTuber and wake up and make YouTube videos, and I didn't need an alarm clock to get that done, it became so much easier to truly value and love myself, because I knew that I was worth something. And you can't be a simp, you can't be a beta male tier 3 sub lusting over girls if you love yourself, and if you value yourself, and if you know what you're worth, and if you know what you can output. When you finally see that, hold up, with my action, with my body and my hands and my mouth, I can create things on this earth that either help people or help myself or make me money or is good for my family. I can do something good for myself, and I can turn around and change my life and change others' lives as well. I can provide for my family or my kids. I can help my parents pay some bills around the house. I can do this. I can make life better for us. And when you realize that you have that power, it's all right here all along. Once you stop scrolling and you stop drifting and you stop lusting over these women that don't even know you, that don't care about you, and you start to care about the only person that does matter in your life, and that's yourself, you eventually
See, and I would expand that out to, like, not just yourself, but the people in your life, your actual circumstance, your actual surroundings. Like, you know, lots of people get sucked into this virtual world that's not real. It's fantasy, and they can't find their way out of it. They think that is all that matters, whether that's like Instagram hoes with big booties, or it's political commentators, or whatever your thing is. It's very easy to get into a myopic mindset through this stuff.
stop being a simp. You stop lusting, you stop drifting, and you start to take control over things. So going back in my case scenario, there was this girl that I was head over heels for. I mentioned it in my day 1000 NoFap update video, but there's this girl that I was head over heels for. Like if I was chilling with my friends in real life, me and a couple of guys just hanging out, and this girl texted me, the entire world, my friends, parents, brother, sister, mom, dad, everybody that was around me didn't exist. It was her. I had to reply to her text right away. I was thinking about her all day long. There was not a minute that went by during that day when I wasn't thinking about this girl. Pure characteristics of a simp. I understand. I get it. When I would text her, I was looking through a phone backup that I had from like 10 years ago, and I was like, or no, like 5, 6 years ago, and I was like, there's no way that I would speak to her like this. There's no way that I was such a little. I used to talk to her like that and devalue myself and look at her as if she was on top of the world and she was better than me. That's not the case.
It's also not a way to find a fruitful relationship. Like being a simp is not a road to being in a good relationship with a person. It's just not. You got to look at people as peers to a certain degree.
That's not the case at all. And I look back at these texts like, holy shit, I can't believe I was that person. I can't believe I was that guy. And it was like this for 6, 7 years. Got to a point where a couple of my cousins were telling me like, yo, Alex, we think that this might be a problem, man. Like we're hanging out with you, like we're going out to eat and everything, and you're just looking down at your phone. Me, the guy that's anti that. I was the guy that when you would go out to eat with me, I was looking down at my phone. Or if I was chilling with you with me and my friends, I was thinking about her and I wasn't ever 100% there because I felt like this person was a goddess on top of the world, a queen, and I was this little mere peasant simp. And to be honest with you, since I thought that, it became a reality. I actually was at that point. I wouldn't value any of my real life relationships. Whatever my parents would be telling me or whatever my friends around me would be telling me or talking about, that was all second in place to her. I was a simp. And after I came to my realization, my awakening, if you would call it, this might have been senior year of high school when I first started, where came back to YouTube after I regained the confidence to do so after 4 years of quitting. I realized that nothing else mattered. Nobody else was better than me. Nobody else was ahead of me or on top of me. No one deserved more time, especially that phone call. No one deserved more time from myself or attention or dedication or thought from myself but myself. There's no reason that I should be thinking about you more than I'm thinking about me and my future.
Well, he's just kind of elucidating the concept of having self-respect. And that's a good thing, in my opinion, especially for young men, which I imagine is probably most of his audience. And this is like a healthy way to kind of go about some of the same ideas that somebody like Nick Fuentes or the Groypers writ large might try to impose on people. Make it an internal thing. Make it an inviting experience. Because unfortunately, we just live in a time where this is a real concern. This is a real thing. You know, the idea of masculinity and where young men and boys and men just in general there's a redefinition happening. And nobody's really taking into consideration like how that actually affects people, like how that displaces people. So having somebody like this here, I think is probably in the long run, broadly speaking, like a good thing.
So they all hit me one morning. Actually, it was a very, very, very
And the fact that he's young and the fact that he's saying like he came to one of these conclusions when he was like a senior in high school is actually kind of important because he can directly speak to his audience and their experience and what their struggles and what they're going through.
Emotional morning. I might have learned this in a lucid dream if I can think back enough, or I can check my dream journal. That I realized that everything is within my own control. Everything that I've not been doing for all these years, all these dreams that I've put aside, all these cameras that I stopped using to film YouTube videos and microphones that I've just been collecting dust, that was my goal. That was my passion. And everything else but that didn't matter. So I woke up. I started NoFap that day. Or, yeah, I must have been on like day 30 NoFap. I turned my entire life around, and I was no longer a simp. I pressed record on that camera, and I made it was the day 100 nofap video, if I'm not mistaken. And that's when I realized that I could achieve anything that I wanted, as long as the energy that I was putting out into the world was of positive benefit to myself and those around me, instead of giving it all to another human being that's just a temporary living sack of flesh that eventually will no longer be living, because we are all mortal. When you find that the only thing that truly exists is God and love from within your own self, and that's something that will never ever die. That's something that is not that does not have the mortality, the infinite that does not have the mortality. It just became so much easier for me to wake up and get everything that I had to do done. So,
Brissinger says, yeah, it's a complete denial of reality. 100% agree. It is. And some people, they don't understand that. Because if you're young, like if I had grown up in the time of social media and everything that's going on right now, like how easy would it be just to forget your actual real considerations in life and the people around you? Get into this fantasy world.
if you're a simp, I was there. I was the guy that would not be looking at you, looking down at the girl, texting and smiling and shit like a little ass bitch. That was me at one point. So if you're that guy right now, I would say it's okay, but it's not, bro. It's a really really big problem. You're just shaving years off of your life, and a lot of you might not ever wake up from this dream that you're in. A lot of you might never take off the headset and say, "Holy shit, this is your life." No, you're just stuck in that. You're just stuck in the matrix, man.
That Sigma mindset,
hopefully my story
dog.
can help you wake up and take control of your life and stop being a beta male cuck simp and fapping to girls all day long. Thank you for watching this video. You can go learn how to block P from your router. I mean, it's somewhere in the description.
Anyways, so I think that's probably like a, to a certain degree, a positive video there, a rarity on Nightcap. Okay, so what we're gonna do real quick, I gotta pee real quick, and then I will be right back. We're gonna watch one last video. Seems like it might be kind of longish, about say a woman that people like him and people writ large on the internet might simp for. We'll see what she's got to say about the situation. I'll be right back. Hello, all right, I'm back. So bring us. Let's see here. Prof says, "What da?" Well, that's because I had to go pee. Hagber said, "This is why I piss in bottles." Well, I hear you. I did that one time. I've done that one time in a nightcap. Brissinger says the problem is that it's hard for a person like this to distinguish extremes. Yeah, I'd agree. Like, I'm not all in on like no fap lifestyle and stuff, but I do think some people might need it. You know, first JLP now, Sean. No, this is not a JLP video. The one that we're gonna watch, not a JLP video at all. I'm saving that. I'm saving that for you, buddy. I gotta find it. We're just going to show an example. This is kind of a random video. I've never watched this before.
I'm a virgin by
Oh,
choice.
no,
I still got
no, not this guy. Oh, no, I lost it. Hold on, there it is. It says, how the patriarchy hurts everybody. This is a Twitch streamer that's very popular. I found this person when I was looking at Kyle Rittenhouse stuff. And one of the things she said, she made this list of identifiers. Oh, no, I meant that you disappeared. Oh, I'm sorry, my friend. I'm sorry. I'm still here. No strokes yet. Give me a couple more years. I'll have a stroke. This person, so they had like this list of identifiers. I watched like half of one of their videos when I was watching Kyle Rittenhouse stuff. And one of the things that she identified was the concept of due process being an identifier for a fascist. And you shouldn't talk to people that are concerned with concepts like due process. But this is the kind of person that so many people nowadays will simp for lack of a better way to put it. So let's check this out. I've never watched this video, so we'll see if it's fruitful or not. You know how it is. Nightcap is feast or famine. By design. It's really up to me to try to make it something worthwhile. Not always up for the occasion, but that's what we do. So this is somebody called Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is a Twitch political streamer. She used to be a conservative, if you can believe that. She used to be a conservative streamer, and she has completely gone just reflexively, insanely to the other direction. And you have to kind of imagine it's kind of cynically done in the same way that somebody like Tim Pool or whatever kind of cynically goes in the direction that he goes because his audience is on YouTube. Well, her audience is on Twitch, and they're all a bunch of commie assholes. So let's see what she's got to say about the patriarchy and how it hurts everyone.
Okay, so this is where this shit's coming from, the pee from your butt shit. I haven't seen this yet, so
I have a question. How many holes does a woman have from the waist down?
2.
Okay, so what are those holes used for?
A lot of
like, what the fuck kind of like, what is this question? This is who people are talking about when they're just like, oh, maybe this is a negative influence on society. Not this lady that's dressed like a soccer mom getting ready to pick up her kids. Well, this Starbucks tastes a little sour today.
things. Like, what do you mean? What do you ask?
Yeah, it's just a general like an easy like biological question. What are those 2 holes used for?
I mean, like bathroom wise?
Yes.
Poop and pee?
Poop and pee. And then where's
Yeah.
the sex one, dude?
The pee one.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
What's
Oh
your
my
point?
god. That's
What's
so
the joke?
cute. That's so fucking cute, dude. It's like
It's so cute that you will not just fuck me in the ass, because that's what I'm getting at. Adorable.
dude, you really never had a woman like
What is going on? What, you pee from your butt?
I have a question. How many holes
Well, let's hear her hot take. She's going to have something super interesting to say, I'm sure.
Okay, first things first. I fucking love everything about her aesthetic so much. I want to cry. Who is she?
She's just some queen, just like you, just some queen, and she's in some sort of cyberpunk dystopia while you're in the forest.
It's hard for me to like focus because she's so fucking. She's pulling this off so fucking hard.
Was
It's
she
gay. It's
though?
pretty gay. It's pretty gay. Her outfit's so good. Her outfit, her lighting, her camera work, her background, even her like position. Everything about it is fucking perfect. She does like stream virtual dating, I think. Really, Cutebot. Oh, okay. I'm gonna message her and ask her about her setup because her setup is fucking awesome. Are you sure you're straight? Listen, I can appreciate women's looks without fucking being gay. Okay, I'm messaging her right now. Hey, Kiana, I saw your clip and loved your look. Like absolute perfection. No, I'm not gonna say hi from chat. I'm being chill and cool about it, all right? I'm being chill and cool.
Oh my.
Just out here, no homo broing. Yeah, I'm just two chicks talking about each other's chick stuff. We're just chicks. Just sharing tips on how to be hot chicks.
Hundreds of thousands of people watch this. Simps, you might say. Simps, you might suggest they are simps. This is a possibility.
It's just being straight chicks together. We're just two straight chicks being straight. Just being straight.
She has to say these kinds of things because her audience is about 17, 16-year-old boys who give her money, probably working down at the Little Caesars, grinding out those pizzas, giving Bad Bunny some cash.
Bad Bunny is the best gaslighter in the world and really is gay. If that's the case, I've gaslit myself. I'm now part of the fucking victimhood. Yeah, it's just straight hot girl shit. I can confidently tell you have no interest in the left person there, even with that super potentially hot man tank shirt.
Pizza.
Yeah, I have zero interest in this here. If that makes me gay, then I am extremely gay. If not having interest in this means you're gay, of course. Of course. I wanted to put makeup on and look cute today, chat, so I think I'm going to do this. This clip is giving me new inspiration. But yeah.
Go eat a sandwich first, though, okay? Please.
Hence my title. It is in fact true. Women do pee from the butt. By the way, this is the guy that's harassing me right now. He's also completely misogynistic. He's doing the $5 a month thing still. He's been harassing me about $5 a month since the Democratic primaries. And he's doing it literally right now.
Hagbert says, what's up with her jaw? Does she have the mumps?
So it's like it's just a wincel versus wincel off. Jesus Christ.
And when they say like harass, what they mean is like they'll say mean things in a tweet. This is their life. This is the hottest action they get. The biggest problem they have.
Yes, still. Bad empanada. People need to stop promoting these super, super cringy, gross dudes. Cis dudes get the fucking fail up all the time. They make one good video, maybe, and everyone's like, In the meantime, marginalized people do nothing but do incredible work, are like super sweet, super thoughtful, super smart, super open-minded. Everyone's like, yeah, fuck you. If you saw this awesome video, be like this one guy one time.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you attribute your career to? You made a negative viral video and now you have a career. Brissinger says, I just don't understand why this has to come out in public. Why can't we just leave this in the bedroom? Because these people, this is their lives. And then as an effect of that, people model their actual lives out in IRL on this kind of behavior. It's very odd. It's a weird kind of just like fucking loop, a feedback loop. It just feeds into itself constantly. And that's what they all live for. They all live for these kinds of things, these kinds of interactions. If this guy hadn't talked to this woman, she wouldn't have anything to talk about. So when they all cry out about it, they're being a little disingenuous. They would not have like careers. Brissinger also says, I guess because the bedroom is on everyone's phone now. To a certain degree.
Yeah. Bad press is good for cis dudes. It really is. It is. It is. It is. Imagine hating women but not knowing they pee from their eyes. That's why it puts a whole nother spin on white woman tears. Okay, anyways, so that's the meme.
Like already in like 30 seconds, she's just like buzzword. Interaction. Sub.
I want to watch this one more time.
Polls?
Actually. I'm gonna get this off the screen because I'm feeling real ugly. Because she's so fucking pretty. I don't know what their pronouns are. Actually, I shouldn't assume. Just popping in.
I don't know what their pronouns are. What do you think that chick goes by? What do you think her pronouns are? Does she? Oh, she must go by they. I mean, based on how she's dressed and her whole set and dynamic, oh, she must go by they. Fucking insane.
And super fast to say the butt pee thing's the best thing I've seen for so long. I know, isn't it fucking hilarious? It's pretty fucking great. Popping in real fast. Oh, that's right, because Conquest of Dread is joining us from the future. Conquest of Dread literally lives in the future, which is honestly incredible. You're super pretty. Shut up.
Oh my god. See, that's what I'm talking about. The simp status. Sim status large. Hagbert says Cash App and Super Chat. Come on now. Check out my QR code. Scan that sucker in.
Is there a difference between humor by gender? Of course there's a difference between humor by gender. There's humor, and then there's female humor. You know, there's humor, which is jokes that are funny, and then there's female humor, which is weird and political and like about boobies or something, and like I don't like it because femoids, you know, that's what difference. It's like there's video games, and then there's political video games, which include ladies and black people. And someone who is trans. So, yeah, this is
buzzwords. This is a person that like spends most of their time talking to the internet. What real world experience do you think they have about anything? About anything to qualify any of their opinions about men, women, or life in general? I'd be surprised if she even goes to the grocery store herself.
female humor, I suppose. And leftists have no jokes famously. Oh, that reminds me. I'm gonna do my makeup so I can like feel like I'm pretty today. That's very sweet that Conquest of Dread said that about me, but I really want to feel like pretty. It's been a while since I've actually done my makeup. It's been really, really a really long time. I want to like try putting some makeup on. There are two genders, man and political. On Cute Show, I'm lost. Wait, what are you talking about on Cute Show? Kiana is she, her. Okay, thank you. Kiana, she, her. She's so fucking pretty. I'm gonna.
Thank you so much. Thank you for correcting me. Because we live in a society that's just like, well, it's just not obvious. I mean, I could imagine, like, you know, if she wanted to be like, you know, appeal to her audience, if this was like somebody in a furry costume, maybe she might be confused. But I'm pretty sure this right here, she goes by she.
I'm gonna fucking die. I hate obsessing over how pretty she is because I don't want to be like objectify-y. Like, but I fucking cannot.
But you're a creep. You're a creep because if say this was a dude making this video saying these things, she would be making a hot react to a dude acting this way. Brisinger says, so this is the real Matrix.
Just fucking chill. Anything that makes me uncomfortable about my privilege and social status is political, right? Which is to say that anything that doesn't make me feel uncomfortable is therefore not political. So if you're like fist pumping other bros over your harassing rape victims into silence, that is not political.
Of harassing rape victims into silence, because this is just the median attitude. This is what people do. This is what men do. This is what bros do, dog. In current year, in 2021, this is how people behave themselves. Live on different fucking planets than normal people. The problem with somebody like this, though, they say this shit and then it gets promulgated by their audience that actually lives in society proper. Well, maybe that's being charitable. Maybe they're like, they're like neats hanging out in their basements watching Bad Bunny for 12 hours a day. Like, oh, you're so beautiful, Bad. You're so beautiful. You don't even need the makeup.
Famously not political. You're not objectifying, you are swooning, silly. I know. Okay, so Kippy, this is kind of like a nuanced. This is a more of a nuanced point that maybe.
That's what I'm going to say from now on. Listen, guys, I'm just swooning. When I look at that fat ass, and I'm just like, hey, whoa, that's something. That's something I'd be interested into getting into. I'm just swooning. I'm just a swooner. I'm glad she's going to break it down for us. A super nuanced point.
Female humor person won't understand, but I know I'm not objectifying her per se.
So she's all about like pronouns and sexual fluidity and all this stuff, but she's like, but there is female humor. There's female humor, and we need to cut that out of the larger conversation.
So I'm making assumptions about how comfortable she is about someone obsessing over her looks. So that's a thing, right? But it's more of like.
But it's okay that I've done it because I'm not going to take it back. I'm not going to grovel. I'm not going to do anything like that. It's okay that I did that because I'm she.
This is a really common way that we approach women in society is we have to comment on their looks or we have to judge them first and foremost on their looks. It's something that even
see what this is called projection. That's what this is. Classically, we call this projection. It's when you kind of you infer the beliefs of other people, but really you're talking about yourself.
In the most positive ways is still a reality. Me saying which women are really pretty. I don't do this for men. I don't see handsome men go like, wow, this guy is so handsome. He's so handsome. And it's not because I'm gay, chat. I'm not gay. I really don't think I'm gay. I really don't.
Plenty of women online and otherwise do that. We watched earlier tonight some TikTok videos of women doing that very thing. Doing that very thing. Be like, how is he so hot? How is he mine? I'm going to make him a steak dinner.
I don't think so. But it's more of like the way that we feel like we can validate women and therefore the opposite side, the way that we disparage women is first and foremost by their value to the patriarchy, aka how attractive they are, how fuckable they are, how much they mesh with the patriarchy's like demand for a certain type of personality out of women. And like when I'm saying, oh, she fits into that really, really well, I'm kind of potentially feeding into that. Potentially. Again, this is a pretty nuanced position. I don't think it's the most. I would never expect people to like.
Imagine suggesting this is nuanced. This is a nuanced position, and somehow I'm going to do some sort of mental gymnastics to suggest that it's okay that I did it. Because that's probably what the end game of this conversation is. Because she bears no suffering if she's wrong. Hagber says, or maybe she's part hamster and she's pouching food. Them cheeks. Somebody get this girl a sandwich, maybe a Subway sandwich, maybe Juicy Smollett could bring her a cold tuna sandwich, 5 cheese, Tuscan blend bread. She'd love it.
Don't like, you don't have to talk, you don't have to like cancel someone over this, but it's, since we're all like highbrow intellectuals here, I thought I'd bring it up. I'm like Demi/Ace, and I still call folks pretty. No, I mean, like I said, calling someone pretty, I don't think is necessarily a problem. But
Hagber says, and a noose. Well, yeah, of course. Gotta have that. That's part of the Subway experience. Eat fresh.
It's different. And again, I'm never gonna say like cancel someone over this, like I said. But since we're like 4D chess feminists over here.
I'm not going to cancel somebody over this. If this was somebody else, if this exact video, and the only thing we changed is a dude said this. Say somebody like Destiny or something. If you're familiar with this sphere, she would be tearing it apart, even with the explainer, even with all the caveats, the asterisks. She would definitely still be tearing it apart. Come on. Like, does anybody believe that she would be like kind and understanding and practical and pragmatic? No, she wouldn't.
Here, I'm trying to talk about.
She even slid into this person's DMs, telling them like, I just love your whole vibe. You're so beautiful and sexy. Yeah.
The realities of living in a patriarchy and validating that patriarchy. Like, okay, let me give you an example. Imagine a trans woman and you tell her how like well she passes. Now, trans women oftentimes want to pass as cis people. They want to. It helps them to feel. Oftentimes, not all. Everyone has their own fucking thing, right? But a lot of, say, trans people want to be cis passing, aka they want to.
I wonder how much actual tangible experience she has with trans people at all, outside of streaming on Twitch. What do you think?
Mesh with society in a way that doesn't make them look like they're overtly trans. While I could be like, wow, you look really cis passing, or you look like very whatever way you want to describe that. And that could be a compliment in a way. I also think it's potentially harmful if the way that we validate other people under an oppressive system is to congratulate them for pleasing that oppressive system very, very well.
Yeah, do you think like trans people, maybe the whole point is to look like what they're transitioning towards, or what they feel like they're transitioning towards? So no, not really. I suppose if you can validate that, that would be, in some ways, it would be a positive thing. They want the oppressive system. They want that idea. That's the whole point of it. It's actually very traditional in terms of like gender roles and what we expect from the genders and stuff like that. They actually want a very traditional view of that for themselves. But somebody like this will just be like, well, it doesn't really matter.
You know what I mean? But again, like I said, this is like so nuanced. And also,
Is it really that nuanced? Is it really that nuanced, though? Maybe you're just an asshole. Maybe you're just a fucking moron. That could be that could be a thing.
I like when people call me pretty, but I don't know if that's I think everyone likes to be called attractive. I think men want to be called attractive. I think women want to be called attractive. I think MBs want to be called attractive. I think all sorts of people want to be called attractive. But there's a different slant to it when it's women that are like, first and foremost, like I have to constantly gush over how attractive she is. No, I didn't talk about her personality. I didn't say she's so like she's like has a great voice. I did compliment her setup, to be fair, but let's pretend I didn't do that. I didn't compliment her like personality or anything.
No, let's to be fair, like I'm not like that. I'm not like that. So don't consider me in that sense. Please. Please, please.
I didn't focus at all on that. I'm just obsessing over her looks. And that's a very like pro patriarchy thing to do. Even if it's a coincidence because I just think she's like really, really pretty, it's still like potentially valid.
What is the coincidence? Your entire argument hinges on the fact that like suggesting that somebody is traditionally pretty or is desirable is a problem. There is no coincidence in this conversation as she is framing it. She's just making excuses for herself because she doesn't want to live by the rules that she sets for others.
States her according to the standards, the rubric of the patriarchy. And imagine people that aren't like women that aren't pretty or aren't this kind of conventional, like conventional 10 out of 10 pretty.
Women that don't eat Subway sandwiches.
It probably doesn't feel great. You know, it probably doesn't feel super great to be like, well, I'm not like this, because most of us are not this pretty. We're just not. How does that make the rest of the femme people feel if you're not this and you'll probably never be? Right? I mean, well, I'm sorry, chat, but like sometimes we hit our peak and that's it. No woman would be allowed to look as tired as Jamie Dore does every fucking day. Thank you, fucking Braided J. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, Jamo. I talk about this. Oh my God, I see this all the time. Jamo's a great point. Just look at the difference between him and her in the clip. Look at he's a fucking broken ass fucking shit. What is this, like a tube TV or something? And then like a flat screen. Dude looks like he honestly looks like he's never looked in a mirror in the past like 6 months.
So then she completely falls apart. She completely falls apart and has to attack the physical attributes, the TV, all this stuff, all these social identifiers that she is railing against. That she is railing against right now when it comes to this dude. Not suggesting I have no idea who this person is. Could be a total piece of shit. But come on. Hagbert says, women that don't live in Habitrail? I don't understand the reference. I apologize. The tube TV for old game consoles. Oh, okay.
He's wearing the same like nasty ass fucking like wife beater. And he's hunched over in this really like unappealing position. Like he's taking a shit at the moment and you just caught him. In the meantime, she
puts all this effort into, and she's got a set. She's living in a cyberpunk world, and she looks like a prostitute from the cyberpunk story, and he just looks like a guy. He just looks like a regular guy. For shame.
Has to fucking give all the fucks in the world. All the fucks in the world about the way she appears. This is just the nature of like the reality. This is just the way that the patriarchy demands one thing of women and another thing for men. Taking a shit? Don't you mean pissing? No. You see, he's a man, so he pisses from the balls. He's got a great.
Oh, a hilarious person. Oh, because there's different standards. Oh my goodness, standards that you have just played into, that you have just acknowledged with your put down.
Green screen in his toilet. Oh, this is a green screen, and he's trying to give the. We've all met dudes like this, have we not? Just garbage. This is cis men. Not all cis men, but I would say so many cis men are like this. They do the bare minimum, and why would they ever try any further than that? This is society is not only not bother them.
She has been talking about putting on makeup and making herself look pretty for a good 10 minutes of this. So she plays into it too. It's about expectation, but it's also about what you want to put out there. Like if you're going to make allowances, like, well, dudes just don't have to try that hard. Well, you're playing into that because you want to do the thing that this cyberpunk prostitute is doing. You find that appealing. On the other end, like, what is a dude supposed to do? Like, what do you want him to do? Be dressed in a suit, wearing a fedora? You'd also have a problem with that. Come on now. You'd say he's trying too hard. What is he trying to prove? What is he trying to prove? Nobody's looking at the fucking cyberpunk prostitute and saying, what are you trying to prove? We all understand innately what this is about. We all get it.
When they do the bare minimum, society high fives them, fist bumps them, and congratulates them on being the best. Why would they ever fucking change? Why? Why would they change, man? In the meantime, women are criticized on their thigh gap. They're criticized on their tit size, on their nipple shape, on if they're hairless, their skin tone, if they're how their clothing are hugging their bodies, their nails, their fucking toes.
Yeah, I mean, you could have like made a little bit of effort. You could have like didn't have to wear a tracksuit.
Nails, their face, like their jaw. How much did I get bullied for have my jawline? I've been bullied for my Q angle, which I didn't even know what that was. Like, women live in another world. It's the same physical world, but it is men, but it's another world. It's a completely other world. It's just a completely other world.
Do you think men, exactly, that's a tacit acknowledgement that men also live in a different world, and the expectation and what they can offer and what they have to do is different. These are different things. It's really not that crazy. It's just not that like mind-blowing or weird. It's pretty normal, pretty natural. The most punk rock thing you can do nowadays is just be a normal person with a normal opinion.
The fuck is a Q angle? I get this a lot where transphobes insist that I'm trans because they're like, they'll take screenshots of my body when I like stand up or pass screenshots from like super old streams. And then they'll like also like map out my jaw, and they're convinced I'm like secretly trans and I'm hiding. It's always the line that I'm hiding it, from my community because I'm trying to, again, exploit vulnerable men. That's always the tagline to the involuntary celibate, is that when it boils down to like why they hate women, they think that women are taking advantage of vulnerable men.
You are just beta simps. How many of these people do you think are women watching this stream? Chatting, whatever. How many do you think are actual women? The internet. The internet and chatting and streams and all that stuff is dominated by young men. There's probably like 20% of these people are women. 20% of like who subs to her, who listens to her, watches her, are probably women. Not the lion's share. And they're simps. They're simps. They're thirsty as fuck. They live in this hamster world. Like Hagbert had said, this hamster world environment.
Just Google it. Sounds fucking bonkers. Yeah. Let me Google it for everyone else. So yeah, one of these transphobes was attacking me, and he was making like all of these alt accounts. He made so many. I tweeted out.
You know how excited she is because this happened to her? How excited she is that this interaction ever occurred? This made her month. Like, she's super excited that somebody accused her of being trans. Because now she can talk about it. Now she can virtue signal about it.
The list of like some of them. I don't know where it is though. And one of them was like Bad Bunny's Q angle. And I was like, what? And he was talking to my chat about how he's like, I've seen your Q angle. I know you're a man. And let me.
I'm your friend if you donate. That's the rule here. No friends unless money.
Jamo, thank you for the 10 subs. This is the Q angle, apparently. Thank you, Jamo. Thank you, Jamo. Thank you for the 10 subs. Thank you, thank you. Are men vulnerable only when they are in charge? I don't understand, like, I just can't. It's so incredible that all the dudes that harp on people like me for taking advantage of vulnerable men with my greediness, with my sexuality, with my transness, my hiding my manhood.
I don't know who the fuck would find this attractive. A woman in a tracksuit with a jaw like goddamn Bruce Campbell.
Something. None of them go after someone like Trainwrecks. None of them. They're never actually like, hey, the men that have literally created communities dedicated to fear mongering and hating women. And so they spark all they take all the insecurities and all the feelings of like inadequacy in men that are being amplified by feminism, essentially. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way, weirdly. That feminism, when you're pulling out the rug under from oppressors, they're gonna feel inadequate. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? It's not only that, but like men have been trained and brought up by the patriarchy to source their identity from the ownership of women, the ownership of property, essentially, women being definitely part of that property, their validation by owning women. Like, think of like beer commercials. Like, if you have this beer,
like this is who Nick Fuentes is talking about. And this is not the median person. This is not the median woman.
You get to own women. If you drive this car, you get to own women. This dude in this rap video is awesome because of all the women he owns. It's always like your strip clubs owning women.
Pretty racist. Pretty racist, Bad Bunny. Pretty racist to make that connection. Rap videos owning women? What are you saying? What are you implying, madam? Milady?
Women through that. You can make women do something as humiliating as dancing on a pole and being naked and like crawling on the floor for your money because that's how much you own her. It's all about the ownership of women. So when your feminism is a thing, like it pulls the rug from under that, and it is like, no, you're not allowed to own women, and that's extremely upsetting for men, especially when women are, like I said,
yes, in online communities where people stream themselves talking about it. Yes, not so much in like just the regular world.
Men are brought up with this, and they're brought up with this culture of men are men when they own women, but also when they don't show emotions. Like, emotions are for women. That's baby shit. That's hysterical, touchy-feely shit. That's for, that's for the femoids. Men, real men, the only emotions they have are like aggression and sex. Men only want one thing, and it's disgusting. And so when feminism pushes back on that, you see a bunch of dudes just like running around desperately trying to feel like they have some sort of identity, and then someone like, like a Trainwrecks kind or type of person or whatever streamer picks up on that and goes, I'm going to create an entire community where I not only foster this sentiment, but I monetize it. I provide it.
What are you doing? What are you doing right now?
Provide justification for it and community for it. And all the dudes that go after me for exploiting men with my sex or something, never go after any of these other guys that are literally.
Oh, well, we're going to watch the clip that everybody's referencing. There's a clip of her denigrating her audience for not giving her enough money.
Doing that. They're literally like taking that sexual inadequacy, that feeling of like a lack of identity, the feeling of like society's leaving me behind. And they're like, yeah, I'm gonna build a whole community where I like center this and I make you
Because it is. Because it is. Not saying like the way people respond to that is appropriate or a good thing. But where's your empathy now? Where's your heart? Where's your feelings? Where's your thoughts? No, that's not what this is about. Come on now.
feel like it totally is a real problem and you should give me money for it. I know Dr. Harriet Fraud, she did a fantastic couple videos on this topic, which I learned so much from her. Oh, you found it, Husker? There, yeah. Here are the list of alts. Here are the list of alts. Look at all these Twitch accounts here on. Let me fix this shit. I said, here are the list of alts, blah, blah, blah. So these are just some of them. Bunny likes some young. Bunny the greedy fash. Bunny is crypto fash. Oh, that's another thing. The idea that women, whenever you see people calling women grifters, don't get me wrong, women can be grifters. Whatever the, grifter being defined as person who is like basically scamming people in some way. Of course, women can be grifters, but when it's always the women that are being accused of grifting, and especially when men are making the accusations, it's sexist.
Just right there, out there. When it's men that are doing it, it's sexist. Men cannot be objective. Men can't see something for what it is. Oh my goodness.
It's just part of this. Women are doing something to trick and exploit men. It's all part of the I word handbook. It's all part of the I word handbook. Yeah, Candace Owens could be a grifter. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I would think that knowing that Candace Owens Candace Owens would be a grifter if it turns out that she's like faking it. But I don't think she's faking it. I think she's genuinely a shitty person. So like, Bunny is the greedy fash. Bunny is crypto fash. Veganism is neoliberalism.
Like, look how she's getting off on this. Like the negative attention. That's her whole world. Is negative attention. Just people talking shit about her so she can respond to people talking shit about her. And it's not much deeper than that.
Bunny was born male. Bad Bunny born male. Mr. Bad Bunny with male jaw. Bad Bunny secretly male. Bad Bunny transvestigated. That's a monkey too. Which gender's Bunny? Blah, blah, blah. Greediest pronoun streamer. What is the one?
Woke capitalist. Come on now. Woke capitalist. Don't go over that one.
One I was looking for. Here. Bad Bunny's Q angle is 10 degrees.
Brissinger says the sad thing about Nick is that he thinks these women are what he thinks is the majority. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Like, this is his sphere of understanding women are people like this, which is not the median person. That's just it's not how most people operate in their lives. Because this is all he has contact with. This is all he knows about.
But again, mind you, I am not trans. Just want to make it clear. I'm
sure,
not
though?
trans.
Yeah, but why not, though? Why do you care? Why do you care to make the distinction? Roblox?
And I already get transphobic attacks. I don't even know how trans people, I don't get how trans people fucking deal with this shit, man. I mean, I know how you deal with it. You have to, or else you fucking can't, like, you just have to. Someone asked me this morning, because Bad Empanada was attacking me, and probably still is, by like saying the $5 a month shit. They're like, I don't even know how you do it. And I guess it's like, there really is no other choice. This harassment is based, like, when marginalized people are being harassed.
Okay. All right. Well, that's enough of that clip. We're going to watch, let's watch the thing that she keeps referencing, the $5 a month clip. This is actually what made her famous. Ironically enough, this is what made this girl famous. I hope that it's going to be loud enough. Because she has tried to disappear this from the internet.
Speech about how I need subs and to get the stream going if you like the content, blah, blah, blah. How that results in 0 subs. There are regulars here. $5 a month. How do you have hours of time to watch me and not $5? I don't know. What are you doing with your life where you have hours of time to watch Twitch and not $5 to provide for the content that you're watching? Because it's like
It's
people
probably because they're sitting around watching your content and not making those delicious Subway sandwiches.
just really they really don't respect me as a content creator.
Well, this Parasite's right about one thing. Nobody respects her as a content creator. And I'm not going to mention this streamer.
I did not realize there was commentary. I kind of just wanted to watch the video.
By name because I'm pretty sure she loves negative publicity. She does fucked up shit all the time just to get her name out there. She subscribes to the idea that all publicity is good publicity, but fails to realize that when you as a person are your own brand and rely on people liking you for money, having a negative public image literally fucking ruins you. And this one is definitely bigger than she anticipated because no one likes someone this shamelessly greedy. She is a streamer who runs political talk shows, but the majority of the stream is spent begging and shaming people into giving her money. And it's some of the most pathetic shit I've seen on Twitch. And I've seen a lot of pitiful, sad shit on Twitch. I saw a man finger his butthole for a $20 donation on Twitch, and I still have more respect for that than I do her. At least him sticking his fingers in his asshole was more fun than all of her streams
was a
combined.
service.
And
It was a
somehow him
service.
putting nearly his whole fist in his chocolate starfish was still classier than any of this girl's streams. At least he had the decency to not shame the viewers into giving him $20 for sticking fingers up his brown balloon knot. He wasn't on stream going, hello, you broke cheap ass viewers. I'm sitting here with my beautiful asshole goat seat into the camera and nobody's giving me $20. My speech about giving me $20 and I'll finger my asshole didn't give me any money. What the fuck is wrong with you? He was very simple about it. He's like, you know what? $20 and I'll finger this asshole right here. You don't have to do it, but if you do, I'll fucking finger myself. And that's how it went. She's over here making a whole song and dance about it, making everyone just feel fucking uncomfortable, and she feels so entitled to their money, which she absolutely doesn't deserve. She provides no value whatsoever. You might as well just flush $5 down a toilet. That's more value than giving it to this girl.
Expecting like, how do you think? How are you consuming this free entertainment?
Brissinger says, if it's a white man, it's racist.
Like, how do you think free entertainment is available to you? It's because other people actually provide money so you can be a cheap ass. That's it. Other people provide money because they're generous and they see like a thing that they want to support, a form of entertainment they want to support, and then you leech.
It's like listening to NPR or watching PBS, and there's just a constant drive. Just a constant drive to give them money, to give them support.
But that's the reality of it, period. If you're watching Twitch as a non-donating, non-sub, you are leeching. Does that mean that you should feel bad about it? I don't know. But the reality is that you are leeching.
Such a laughable sense of entitlement, especially when she has no talent at all.
Brissinger says, it's the new way to make money. It is. And I think he kind of answered that question. He's like, yeah, but it's these talentless hacks that are out there that are demanding that, like, oh, you give me money because you're watching me. Well, they still make money off of people. Like they run ads, etc. They clip their channels, they put it on YouTube, they run ads on those. Like, it's not like they're not making money from it. But they want that extra. They want that stable income.
Also, she's not making $0 from viewers that watch her for
See?
free. Twitch itself places
He
an ad
knows.
at the beginning of your stream, so when someone clicks on your stream, you're getting money just from that click. And I'm pretty sure she plays ads.
Hagler says, it's like watching you on D Live with Profit dropping diamonds while I make shitty puns. Exactly. Except I'm not asking you to drop diamonds, Hagbird. I'm a generous man.
Throughout her streams, which also gets her money from viewers that aren't donating or subbing to her. So I don't know why the fuck she thinks she possibly has the right to complain about not getting an extra $5 from people that either can't afford to or just don't want to because she isn't earning that $5. And she absolutely isn't earning that $5. All she does is insult the chat. She doesn't provide anything at all of value, and I'm pretty sure she hates streaming and only does it to just try and get money out of viewers or guilt them into giving her money, which is super shitty. I'd say 95% of all streamers, myself included, I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/moistcritical. Come stop by if you want to put a few extra inches on your penis. I'd say 95% of all streamers do it just because they love streaming. I know I do. I don't think the majority of streamers are going around just constantly begging for subs and donations, but I know there definitely are a few, her being the biggest culprit. But I'd say the
Well, see, I think that's the reality. It's like when you're like on the internet, you're doing things on the internet, you have to kind of just like to do it. Regardless if it like kind of nets you a living. You have to just kind of enjoy it. And it's just a hobby. If you put all your eggs in that basket, well, you might be disappointed. And she's not even disappointed. She, at the time she was saying these things, she was making like tens of thousands of dollars a month. Like, not making nothing. Andrew WK. He does look like Andrew WK.
majority of streamers aren't like that.
Chat, I haven't got a donation or a sub for an hour. What the fuck? For an hour? What the fuck? An hour when I fucking working for free? What the fuck?
What a horrible, embarrassing perspective for someone to take on something like this. She has the worst possible attitude. I'm not going to go into her disgusting past. She's done a lot of really fucked up shit and said some fucked up shit. But just this perspective of hers that she is so adamant about, where if you are not paying her, you are a piece of shit. She calls you names. She calls you out by your screen name if she sees you're not subbed. She is the most standoffish, unlikable person on that platform. And it's got to be kind of embarrassing to be a subscriber to this girl because she's openly hostile and doesn't give a fuck about it. Only there to siphon $5 out of your wallet every month because she feels entitled to it, as if you're just holding her money for her because you flip on her stream to fall asleep to it once every 3 months. But yeah, this narcissist is probably the greediest person on Twitch. She's like the Mr. Krabs of streaming, but not nearly as cool as Mr. Krabs because she has a shitty personality, a horrible attitude, and the worst perspective on things on that entire platform.
And the reason why this is getting retweeted and liked so much is because she's an attractive woman.
Oh no, it's Mike from PA, who is also a giant grifting piece of shit.
Didn't act like a nice person, which is what makes sexually frustrated incels angry. Woman not acting, woman out of her place. Me mad.
Yeah, this hero decides to make it an issue about her being a woman, despite the fact that that is irrelevant to why people don't like it. It's because people don't like someone that says shit like that, and it is that greedy and that disrespectful and that entitled. It has nothing to do with her being a woman. But this guy's trying to score some of those brownie points. Oh, streamer, please look at me fight for you on Twitter. Please let down your long hair so I may take my $5 and climb up and woo you over. It's also really cute that Mike over here decides to call everyone that disagrees with her perspective an incel when he himself is like the fucking king of incels. Check out his first interaction with the streamer.
That's fine. I think that's fine. So if a guy pays for my tab,
I think I'm getting your attention. I feel like I touched like a vampire touching holy water.
can I help you?
I think they want to go in.
Okay.
Whoa there, Mike. I think you made her a little too wet with that alpha energy. Yeah, man, you've definitely got a lot of room to be tossing the word incel around, huh? With game like that, what a fucking player. Great work, Mike. There are people sticking up for her, of course. Buyer's remorse. They've already paid for the subscription, and now they feel like they need to justify it to everyone in the world. Like what you like who you like. It's totally fucking fine. But there's very clear reasons why people don't like what she said that have nothing to do with her being a woman, Mike. It has to do with her attitude and her disrespect and that sense of entitlement that she thinks everyone has to fucking pay her to watch her. And then she guilts them into it and shames them and makes them fucking feel bad and attacks them for it, which is...
Brissinger says, viewers like you. PBS slogan.
Wrong, Mike. It's just fucking wrong and it's shitty. It's a bad look and it's pathetic. But anyway, yeah, that's about it. So yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, that was a decent dressing down. Like, I did not know that clip was going to have the commentary connected to it. We're going to watch one more Bad Bunny clip. That'll probably be it for the night. Bad Bunny streaming is a difficult job. Female DSP being toxic again. Bad Bunny ranting. All right, well, let's check it out. Let's check it out.
It's easy
because this is who people are talking about. This is the kind of person people are talking about. And they're talking about simping online. And she kind of is the queen.
for you now, but it's the journey that is hard. What did I just say? What did I just fucking say, dumb nuts? What did I just fucking say? I literally just said, you won't understand the unique difficulties of this job unless you experience it yourself. And then you're like, well, no, your job's easy for you now. What did I just... Are you fucking dumb?
You should go down and become a sandwich artist at the Subway. Much easier. People tell you exactly what they want. You can just give it to them, and it's over. Then it's over.
How are you this fucking stupid?
Triggered.
Push the button. Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button. You heard what she said.
There's people that show up and they're like, tell me that streaming as a job is like so fucking easy. And like, I should feel so like I'm getting free money for just sitting here being pretty or something. I'm getting free money for just sitting here being pretty or something. Being pretty or something. Being pretty or something.
You serious?
There's people that show up and they're like, tell me that streaming as a job is like so fucking easy.
Well, that's because it is easy. It is one of the easiest things you can do ever, especially as a woman on Twitch, especially the way you do it, which is just sit there on a chair and watch other people's content. Oh my God, Bad Bunny has it so hard, guys. Oh my God, give her a medal.
Prophet says, imagine this broad having to do my job for a week. I don't think she would fare very well.
Congratulations, you have it so hard. You have the hardest job in the world. Oh no! Bad Bunny, everyone, out here curing cancer and saving the world with her Twitch streams. Get the fuck out of here.
And like, I should feel so like I'm getting free money for just sitting here being pretty or something. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, I could do what you're doing. Easy. And like, and then I'm like, why don't you do it? Like, oh, because I have all these excuses, but you just have it so easy.
There are so many reasons why people don't stream. For example, they can't afford the equipment, or they have a real fucking job where they have to work for their money instead of sitting on a chair, getting donations all day for doing absolutely fucking nothing. Talking about how hard it is to sit in a chair and watch YouTube videos.
Like, the reality is like, if you can manage that, if you can pull that off, like, good for you. But to sit here and gripe about it and act as if you're entitled to a living by doing it is another story. Because this is truly a talentless person. They have nothing to offer. Even this space of fucking just dumb grifting Twitch streamers. This is like bottom of the barrel.
All day. Oh no, I have it so hard, guys. I have to sit here all day and watch other people's content while you give me donations. Oh my God, I have it so hard. What the fuck? It's so hard to sit here and watch YouTube videos all day, guys. Can you please donate to my GoFundMe page? I need to fund medical research that could save my life because I was born with this rare condition where I have no fucking brain.
Like, I want to say that these people have never worked in customer service, but because people in customer service are very familiar with the idea of you can visit an establishment 1 billion times. You can be a regular there. You can be friends with the staff there and still not understand what the fuck it entails to work at that particular place.
I can see the hamster wheel struggling to turn in her head right
Jesus
now as
Christ.
she tries to make a point. And I think she's trying to say that it doesn't matter how many times you
She's like, I was a barista once. I really know the pain of the working man, of the working class person.
see someone do something or work in a particular job, it doesn't mean that you know what that job entails. And to be honest, I actually agree with her here, believe it or not. You can see a
Oh,
cop
just shut
doing
up,
their
man.
job every single day. It doesn't mean that you could do what they do and you don't know what they have to deal with every single day. However, you're sitting in a chair watching videos. I'm sitting in a chair right now, and I can tell you it's not that fucking hard. It's harder for me because I actually have to listen to your bullshit and edit the video, whereas you just turn on a stream and say stupid shit.
Is math related to science?
I can be at a restaurant and every single day have a server wait on me, know the staff, blah blah blah. I will never understand what it takes to actually work that job.
You're sitting.
Imagine, like, she can't even conceptualize what it's like to work a customer service job, and she is referencing it as a reason why people should give her a break. Has her life been so touched she's never had to have like a real job? Is that what she's saying?
In a chair.
Doesn't matter how much I stare at what they're doing, I will never understand it until I actually do it myself.
You're sitting in a fucking chair.
So I almost want to say that people that criticize streamers for like having it so easy and like, what's your fucking problem? I almost want to say that they've never worked in customer service because they're not familiar with that contrast.
Now, just sit down in a natural, upright, and stable position.
However, I also think that there's people that maybe work in customer service that are so bitter about their jobs being so difficult and so like demoralizing that they look at something like I'm doing. They're like, fuck this bitch.
Goddamn right.
Here I'm like working my ass off. And she just sits her on her ass looking like a little cute something or other, making money for looking like barely fuckable.
Barely pushing it, don't you think?
Like, fuck this bitch. So I can see an argument for both sides. But all I'll say is that if you've worked in customer service and you judge people like me, trust me, I've worked in customer service plenty.
Which idiot hired this toxic person to work in customer service? Oh my God. I'm so sorry for all those customers who had to deal with this shit. I feel your pain.
The struggles of streaming are very unique to streaming, and you can't understand them if you're just looking at it from the outset. Not that streaming is the most difficult thing in the world. I am not going to make that argument. It's a very unique situation that has its own difficulties.
Difficulties like what? Oh no, I woke up late. Oh no, I have to set up OBS. It's so difficult, guys. I'm not getting enough donations. What can I do? Oh my God. There's nothing difficult about what you do. You literally press one button. Start stream. That's it.
Not that streaming is the most difficult thing in the world. I am not going to make that argument. It's a very unique situation that has its own difficulties.
What, you want a cookie?
And all I want to say is that if you're looking at it from the outset, you will never understand what it actually entails unless you stream yourself. And
so she can't understand the plight of the person that brings her food, and they can't understand what it's like to stream on the internet.
Are in my position as a streamer. It's easy for you now, but it's the journey that is hard. What did I just say? What did I just fucking say, dumb nuts? What did I just fucking say? I literally just said, you won't understand the unique difficulties of this job unless you experience it yourself. And then you're like, well, no, your job's easy for you now. What did I just, are you fucking dumb? How are you this fucking stupid?
Why am I toxic?
Triggered.
Okay, fair enough. Shit. Okay. We're gonna watch one more video. This is gonna be it for the night. This is This is Bad Bunny, the most entitled streamer on Twitch. And then we'll say goodnight.
I haven't got a donation or a sub for an hour. $5 a month. How do I call in you? Don't you non-subbing whore.
It's a very common dream to live the lifestyle of the rich and the famous. Waking up with millions of fans simply adoring you, running into paparazzi, or even making millions of dollars off of just simply looking beautiful. Fortunately today, it's actually a lot easier to do that than ever before with the use of social media. Today, people reach their way to stardom rather quickly as they use social media to create content and develop their own brands. Unfortunately, it's easy to overlook the challenging obstacles and responsibilities that come along with social media influence and fame. And sadly, some will take advantage and feel entitled to respect and even money that they did not do much to deserve or earn.
Except for you, Chester. You're my bright and shining star, and you deserve the whole world. Well, there's nothing wrong with becoming a content creator and using that as your main source of income if you have the success and stability to do so. What does look pretty bad and make people feel a certain way is when a particular content creator has no previously established respect and starts demanding things from their audience.
Maybe Nick Fuentes is right.
I haven't got a donation or a sub for an hour. What the for an hour? What the an hour when I'm working for free? What the Hey!
This is a Twitch streamer named Bad Bunny, a 33-year-old who is a graduated scientist.
She's like my age. We could be besties. We could be together in the sun.
Decided to come onto Twitch and start streaming, and then decided that she is going to demand that her audience who is watching her funds her with their own money, and she will get upset whenever she feels that she isn't making enough money from her followers.
How did my whole speech about how I need subs to keep the stream going if you like the content, blah, 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 how that results in 0 subs? There are regulars here. $5 a month. How do you have hours of time to watch me and not $5? I don't know. What are you doing with your life where you have hours of time to watch Twitch and not $5 to provide for the content that you're watching?
And
She will bully them and gaslight them into giving her more money.
I have a wall of non-subs. This is actually really heartbreaking because it's like people just really really don't respect me as a content creator. It's January. It's a hard fundraising month. All right, everyone keep telling yourselves why it's hard fundraising month.
Brissinger says, if she can say that, how much easier is it for politicians to do what they do? I don't disagree with that at all. It's all a smoke show. It's very much this entitlement.
Because it's January. In the meantime, y'all are watching me for hours every single day and not $5 for like 40, 50 hours of content consumed.
And basically beg to the highest amount of her capabilities until she gets more subscriptions and donations.
But again, if you really, truly can't afford $5 a month to support the stream, fine. I just think that a lot of people say that and they're liars.
A few inches later.
Yeah, oh my god! Wow! Needless to say, this is highly unethical, and if you strive to be a social media influencer of any kind on any platform, take this example as something to not be like. Now, these first 2 clips went viral on Twitter. However, when you actually go on our Twitch streams and you look at her popular clips, you will find more clips like this.
How do I call in you? Don't, you non-subbing whore. You don't.
By the way, for those who don't know, subscribers on Twitch are different from subscribers on YouTube. Subscribers on Twitch pay money, where subscribers on YouTube subscribe for free. By the way, my dear viewers, it has become extremely apparent to me that there are a lot of you who continue to watch my videos. However, you don't subscribe, and that makes both Chester and I extremely sad. Look at him. Have you ever seen a more upset dog in your life? Absolutely devastated. And it's also an inconvenience to you. Why put yourself through the trouble of searching my channel and wasting all that time when you could just hit the subscribe button and know whenever I upload? It would also make us extremely happy if you hit that notification bell. That way you are notified as soon as we upload, so you can be one of the first to see it. Look, Chester's crying. He's like, why don't these people subscribe? And I'm just like, I don't know, Chester. But maybe they will.
Everyone who is here for the first time is like, hey, I've never done anything for you and I just met you, but can I call in and talk to you? Why are you so special?
You're talking to me?
No, not you. No. This is just idiots that are trying to like talk to me. They're always trying to get in voice chat with me to talk to me. Like, can I get in voice chat? They're always never subs, including.
Well, you could make them subs. Persinger says toxic. It's true. Just like the song.
Yourself. Like, how do you think free entertainment is available to you? It's because other people actually provide money so you can be a cheap ass. That's it. Other people provide money because they're generous and they see like a thing that they want to support, a form of entertainment they want to support, and then you leech. Period. If you're watching Twitch as a non-donating, non-sub, you are leeching.
Something else that a YouTuber named Optimus had pointed out is the fact that she is also extremely hypocritical, because while she is sitting there criticizing her audience for taking advantage of Twitch streamers by watching loads and loads of content without donating whatsoever, she herself is watching lots and lots of content using an ad blocking system.
Oh,
now, if you use an ad block, that is fine. I use an ad block on certain things, but we're not the ones that are criticizing people for coming into our channels or streams or videos and not donating. If you're going to be so harsh on your audience for taking advantage of your free streaming services, then maybe you should take a sip from your own tea and decide that you should be
It's the cutie patootie call out, everybody.
I can't think of the word. Disabling your ad block. You wouldn't want to be a freeloader now, would you? This wasn't sponsored by Wawa, but God, I wish it was.
Like, I get that people have financial issues, but like, I don't believe that half of my viewership is all suffering from crippling financial issues while also having hours upon hours every single day of time that they can spend watching Twitch. I find that very hard to believe that your financial issues are so
Yeah, maybe they're like children that don't have jobs.
horrific that you have hours and hours every day to watch Twitch, yet you don't have $5 to spare for an entire month. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I really, truly don't believe it. That's why they have financial issues. Honestly, they need to reevaluate something. You really need to reevaluate your life choices.
There's also some really interesting things she has just in her About Me section, or whatever they call it on there. I'm speaking from terms and lingo from the old days of 2007, back when MySpace was still relevant. I'm a very resentful ex-emo child. It doesn't just end with her videos, her clips, her tip jar, her little link that gives you direct access to her possible PayPal account says, "Give me your money." That's great. That's classy. Very on brand. Minus the fluff. She's 33 years old. She used to be a scientist. I assume she quit her job to be a Twitch streamer, and now she's yelling at people when they don't donate to her. Maybe you should go back to doing your career instead of yelling at people online for money. Just my thoughts on the matter. Not trying to dismiss anybody that uses making money online as their actual source of income. Most people that do that aren't screaming at their audience to try and get money. They're not going to gaslight and their audience for $5 for a subscription. The fact that very little people have donated to you makes me feel whole inside, because that makes me realize that there are a lot of people out there that are not going to succumb to your verbal abuse towards them. I would never want to donate money to somebody who talked to me like that. If I was a viewer of this girl's stream and she was directing her anger towards me amongst many other people.
Honestly, on the real, the only thing more cringe than somebody like Bad Bunny is like these self-righteous YouTubers that are just like, oh, you asked for money, you tried to build something. Oh, how dare you? This is not that much better.
People for not giving her a $5 subscription, I'd peace out. I'd be like, sorry, see ya. I'll go and try to invest my time into somebody who is a little bit more appreciative of my time and not just my money. It's very blatantly obvious that she's just doing this for money, not because she genuinely enjoys doing it. Nobody who genuinely enjoys taking time to entertain, doing this because it's something they're passionate about, nobody who does that would be as
Nobody who does that? Are you sure? Are you sure?
uptight about getting donations as this girl is. It is so obvious that she's doing it just for money, and it's so sad. She is like the bottom of the barrel, scraping at the corners type of crud that you find on Twitch. There are so many other people that you can spend your time and money on to support, to watch, to enjoy. So many more people will be so much more appreciative than this Twitch streamer. If you ever come across this type of person, because she's not the only one that does it, if you ever come across this type of person, scurry along and find somebody else, because they do not deserve a dime from you.
They are bad. All right, everybody. That's probably going to do it for tonight for the stream. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys Monday night on D Live. If you want to check out more that we do, D Live Monday nights, usually a little bit more spicy. I'm still trying to figure out the YouTube stuff and like what I can and can't watch and get away with. But on D Live, it's kind of like no holds barred. Anything goes. But anyways, good night. Thanks everybody. Thanks Hagbard, Persinger, Tarami, Prophet, and we'll see you next time. Adios.